market, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Now Gostisbehere with it. Gostisbehere hanging on. Walker will make a change. Now Gostisbehere, he scores! Top of the left circle. And Carolina gets the hot start. They're up 1-0. Shane Gostisbehere. Now Jarvis, he'll drop this one. Off the catching the rebound. He scores! Seth Jarvis on the doorstep. Pounds it home. And it's 2-0 Carolina.
Whoopee! What? Hey, it's the Adam Gold Show. What's going on, everyone? I am Adam Gold. That is not Victoria. That is Graham Hill on the ones and twos. So, yesterday, Victoria at the end of the show, and you'll forgive me, I thought it was an extension of Friday's madness when she said, "See you next Tuesday" to me. And I thought, well, that's inappropriate. But then based on our conversation last Friday, I just figured we were still in Friday mode, and it was Friday for her. I didn't even realize she's on vacation for a week.
Yeah.
She's at a music festival in Florida.
Good for her.
Absolutely good for her. I mean, I'll eventually take days off when this Hurricanes run is over in the middle of June.
Correct. I see what you did there.
So, but yeah, good for her. But she said, "See you next Tuesday." And I went, wait, what? And I'm like, okay, yeah. Because I didn't realize she was going away. But that's why we got Graham Hill today. You were at the game last night.
I was.
You watched that boring, soul-sucking Hurricane. That's what I'm reading. That's literally what I'm reading.
From Rangers fans or the national media?
No, the national media.
That doesn't surprise me.
The most boring, soul-sucking, no-fun playoff series that the NHL has ever produced. I might have embellished that last part. I'll get a letter from the NHL.
That's fine. It wouldn't surprise me if they said that.
All right, whatever. At this point, it's unbecoming to continuously point to the national media clearly not focusing on what this team is about. It's not like they've had any experience covering Hurricanes playoff hockey the last 7 years. I listened to somebody on Sirius today tell me that Jacob Slavin is becoming a shutdown defenseman. You're right.
We've known this.
No, he's right. He has become that, just like yesterday. For those people who, like, if you're brand new to this and you watched Four Nations, you went, oh, yeah, that's right. The guy who didn't allow Nathan McKinnon or Connor McDavid to score. That guy. Yeah, he's become, virtually overnight, a shutdown guy. Listening to the ESPN broadcast talk about, wow, they're just flinging shots from everywhere. These are not high danger. Yeah, until the goalie can't see them, in which case they become high danger. Jacob Slavin's overtime game winner through 4 bodies wasn't a threatening shot at all, except that the goaltender couldn't see it. It's amazing. Rod Brindamore finally did address it last night.
I was just about to say, I appreciate your good friend of the program, Corey Laviolette, the North State Journal, asking Rod Brindamore about that. And before he could even finish the question, Brindamore just said, it's lazy.
Yeah.
It's a lazy take by the national media.
He said, it doesn't irk me, except it does. There were two moments of not necessarily truthfulness from Rod Brindamore last night. The first was that. And the second one, when he said, well, we played Jacob Slavin a lot in the third period, so he was playing with a lot of different partners. No. There was a definite switch between Brent Burns and Sean Walker. And let me speak directly to Hurricanes Twitter here. Don't get your hopes up. I think there were circumstances for that. One, Burns had logged a lot of ice the first two periods. I think through two periods, he and Slavin had played the most minutes. And I think he wanted a little bit more speed with that pair because he knew he was going to play Slavin a ton in the third period. Sean Walker had only played under 10 minutes to that point. Carolina had killed a lot of penalties, although Walker is actually becoming a fairly good penalty killer. Everybody is, I guess, on this team. So he switched, and he put Walker with Slavin. And it was good. Look, Tony DeAngelo had a career year playing with Jacob Slavin. If you put, I don't know, a mannequin playing with Jacob Slavin, he'd post career numbers. That's what 74 is. But Walker was excellent last night. Again, he didn't play a ton. He played under 17 minutes. I was shocked at that final number. He played the most minutes on the blue line in Game 3 on Saturday night. He was excellent in that game, too. But he was dynamite last night. It was my first star. We're going to talk to John Forslund coming up in just a few minutes. It was a weird game last night because I don't think it was exactly what Rod wanted to see. I thought there were too many chances, especially early, but I thought Washington had a lot of good moments in the second period after Carolina had made it 2-0, and I thought Washington was pretty good in the third and forced Carolina back a little bit, but the Hurricanes' depth won the day. Their stars were good, but Hurricanes' depth won the day. All right, we got a few minutes before John Forslund joins us. So we'll push the hockey back because we're going to talk to John Forslund about this in just a few minutes. The NBA Draft Lottery was held yesterday. How dare they do that during a Hurricanes playoff game? But wait, Hurricanes playoff hockey is boring. It's soul-sucking. It's tedious. So why would anybody be paying attention to it? So in the NBA Draft Lottery, the Dallas Mavericks, who had a 1.8% chance of winning, won. Really? Like less than 1 in 50 of winning. And they won. I am not a conspiracy guy. Completely legit. They win the Cooper Flagg sweepstakes. Jay Will, a Duke legend, Jay Williams, on ESPN on Get Up this morning, says he knows exactly what the Mavericks should do.
Now, I know it's going to be controversial, but if I'm Nico Harrison, I'm trading the pick. Like, look, there's something. He just got back into good graces. I hear you. I hear you, but I'm not sure for a guy like Cooper Flagg. I think he needs reps. I think he needs a lot of room to grow. I'm not sure championship aspirations right away for him. Yeah. Now, look, the basketball part of me loves the thought of AD, Cooper Flagg, Derek Lively in the backcourt, right? But when I look at the value, could you potentially package something like this to get a Giannis? Could you package on a one-on-one trade to get a Devin Booker? Could you get a Tyrese Maxey? If your championship window is in 2 to 3 years, could you utilize that pick and some assets to get somebody who's ready to contribute to you right now with the pressure in the West Coast?
What are you doing, Alan? What are you drinking? What do you got here?
All right. Now, Alan Hahn actually went on to say that Cooper Flagg was a gift from the basketball gods or something to that effect. Here's the deal. I think Jay Will is right to a point. If you can get Giannis for Cooper Flagg and obviously something else, if you could get Giannis, in a minute, because Giannis is good enough to help you win for the next, let's just say, 5 years with Derek Lively, and some of the other pieces that they have, yeah, they can win now. And winning now is so much better than maybe winning later. Also, I know it's going to sound, as much as we love Cooper Flagg, is he going to be an historically great NBA player? I don't know that. Nobody knows that. We hope so, but we don't know that. Is he ever going to be as good as Jason Tatum? We'll talk about Jason Tatum as well, who did look like he tore his Achilles last night. So that's not only is Boston done in terms of winning the NBA title, probably. I mean, not completely out of the realm of possibility that Boston beats the Knicks, even though they're down 3-1. Without Tatum, beats the Pacers, who I think are ultimately going to close out the Cavaliers, and then wins the title. Not completely out of the realm of possibility because the rest of that team is good. But they're without Tatum now, and they'll be without Tatum next year. And who knows what Tatum looks like when he eventually does come back. So that's a pretty big injury blow. That is called adding injury to insult, because the Knicks are 3-1 ahead in the series because they have proven in this series to be a much tougher team. All right. That's all. By the way, yeah, Mavericks won the draft lottery. Charlotte gets number 4. We'll talk about that with Kanata Edwards in our second hour. I know what I think they should do. We'll see if Nata agrees with me. We'll get to it later. But in the building last night, the one and only John Forslund on hand for Sports USA Radio last night as the Hurricanes won. I know it was 5-2, but it felt like more of a seesaw to me, especially the way the third period played out. But it was certainly entertaining, despite what you hear everybody talking about this series as the boring series. I don't get it. No, there is no such thing as boring playoff hockey. John Forslund, you had a good seat for it. I heard you right over my right shoulder. What are your thoughts on Game 4 last night?
Number one, my friend, I hope it sounded okay.
Sounded great.
Number two, I'm so happy I was able to see it with my own two eyes, because it was a revelation to me, just how well the Hurricanes are playing right now, because I don't think it translates over the dish. I don't think watching the games from afar, you get a real good feel for how solid they are as a team. Now, I think you're right. Even in the third game, it was a great start again for Washington that Freddie Anderson did his thing. And last night, Washington played really well in the early stages of the game. And uncharacteristically, it developed into a rush chance game back and forth. But as the game went along, and as you analyze each play and each situation within that game, the Hurricanes are absolutely dialed in as a team. And that's as solid a team game as I've seen. There are other series that have a little more angst, a little more excitement, maybe some more star power than you're going to see with this team. But if you go right through the ranks, the 4 lines of 3D and the goalie, I don't think there's a team as tight right now as the Hurricanes in terms of, how they're playing and their special teams. And that's why their penalty killing is so good, because they're that well coached. So you get to that penalty kill, and that's a real difference maker.
Yeah, 25 out of 27. One of the goals is a 5-on-3 goal. It was, and that was an elite shot. Although, as it turns out, it looked like it might have been deflected over top of Anderson, but still, bar and in. It was the junction between the left post and the crossbar. John Forslund is joining us here. Yeah, Carolina's defense has been outstanding. Freddie Anderson, in 8 games, because he was knocked out of Game 4 of the Devils series and didn't finish that one, has allowed just 11 goals. 11. Now, Anderson, for some reason, has a reputation of being just okay, and I keep hearing playoff Freddie. Playoff Freddie's numbers aren't bad. This year, he's been off the charts, but even historically, his numbers aren't bad. He's got almost a .920 save percentage in the playoffs. I'm not sure what everybody wants.
Well, the thing about Freddie Anderson over his career is he's so gifted and talented, he plays in a rocking chair. And he makes the position look very easy. And when he does get beat, you can look at the reasons why he gets beat because he is so technically sound. He might be just a skosh off his angle. He might give up the odd 5-hole goal.
Yeah.
He might look lackadaisical when he does it. And then it's always blame the goalie. It's always been the case in hockey. It's very easy. It's like kill the umpire. It's like you blame the goalie. I mean, that's basically, what you end up doing. Now, in his career, he's got a lot of battle fatigue, right? He had to play in a hockey-centric market in Toronto and go through some real tough situations that are hard to get by mentally. And I think it probably, and I'm not a psychologist, but I think it probably scarred him a little bit, and he's got to get through that as an athlete. Anaheim was kind of a same situation as a younger goalie. But he was terrific. I mean, I was there for a lot of those playoffs, and he was absolutely great. So now here he is, and to me, you touch wood and you hope he's healthy, because he's back to what he does so well. He's a goalie that can play in this system where he can stand there a lot, and then all of a sudden there's a chance and you better be ready, and he is. And he makes it look easy, and his direction with his rebounds seems to be spot on and better. So when he's spitting them out in the front, like, most goalies can get victimized that way, but for him, he's not the best at recovery saves. I think he's got to make that first technical save, and then the recovery saves have been an issue for him. Other goalies are better at that. But he basically is controlling the puck. He's swallowing it. He's melting it down. He's getting face-offs, and he's directing most of the shots to the corners. So, he's right on where he needs to be. He's the best goalie in the Stanley Cup playoffs, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah, right now. And statistically speaking, Logan Thompson is second. Jake Ottinger has certainly found his stride. It is hard to believe, and if we have time, we'll talk about it. Connor Hellebuck looks utterly lost, and it's unbelievable. This is what the mental side. This is why whenever I talk about sports, I always talk about the psychology of it, because you just never know what the mind will do or prevent the body from doing. I want to talk. You talked about the way Freddie is controlling rebounds. When there are rebounds, Carolina's defenders in front of him have been very good. Jacob Slavin is, we all know what Jacob Slavin is. They finally figured it out during Four Nations. Bless their hearts. But Sean Walker played the third period almost exclusively with Slavin last night. And Walker led them in ice time on the blue line in Game 3. It was a little bit of an injury to Jalen Chatfield that allowed that. But Sean Walker is a guy that has just gotten better and better all year long. Wasn't he a healthy scratch at some point for Colorado in the playoffs last year?
Yeah, he did. They were not enthralled with anything that he brought, and it's one of those deals. It either works or it doesn't. When you get a player at the deadline, you guys know how that works, and so. That's another tough adjustment for the players. I mean, when you talk to players about what they go through at the trading deadline, it's easy for fans to say, well, they're highly compensated. They can take care of this and just join a new team. Listen, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in their lives. And if it's not all in tune, and if it doesn't go right, it can become a nightmare when you're living in a hotel for 2 months and, everything's strange to you but the rink, right? So that's hard. I worked last night with a great Jimmy Fox, who's been legendary with the LA Kings as a player, as you know, and a great analyst over the years. And he was so happy for Sean Walker because he watched him in his early years with the LA Kings. He thought there was potential there. And he and I had Walker as the best player in the game. I mean, he was just unbelievable last night. I'll tip my cap to you because you told me before the game that, how well he's playing, and you should scout. Maybe you are, and I don't know it. Something's working here for the Canes. But anyway, it was a great game because, again, he's able to skate better than most. Yeah. He's able to bail himself out if he does take a gamble. He's perfect for this system. He's perfect pinching. He's perfect when he has to hit a hole offensively, as he did on a very critical goal last night. Yeah. By and large, he can eat the minutes, too, because he's a really good skater and great athlete. So he can eat the minutes next to 74, who I'm going to keep going with this. We're going to get this guy a Norris Trophy. It's got to happen. Because if you can get 40 points is pretty good, and he's usually in the neighborhood of 40 points. But this whole offensive defenseman thing, defensive defenseman, I don't understand it. I think it's another conversation for later, but Jacob Slavin at the upcoming Olympics will prove how great he is. And then we'll see. And then maybe we won't have to get 100 points, no offense, Quinn Hughes, but, Erik Karlsson and all these guys. But listen, Erik Karlsson can't carry his luggage defensively or as a total player, okay? Even though Erik Karlsson's had a great career and has won 3 Norris trophies, I believe. and this guy can't even get a sniff for Norris when you're supposed to defend. Isn't that the Webster's defining line here on the position? I think so.
He's a defenseman, right? But if you don't hit home runs, you can't win a Gold Glove, John. You have to understand that. You have to be able to hit home runs to win a Gold Glove in baseball.
So Mark Belanger could never do it again, and you got to look that one up. Most of the fans would have to. Yeah.
I think there are a fair amount of Oriole fans here that would appreciate the Mark Belanger reference. John Forslund is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Look, the Hurricanes went out. They took a swing on the Mikko Rantanen deal. Didn't work out for them. I thought Mikko played pretty well the first, before Four Nations. They didn't have any puck luck. He didn't really get much out of it in terms of scoring points. And then after Four Nations, he checked out. And so that was never going to end well. I'm glad everybody's happy. Mikko's playing great, and it's fun to watch him. I have enjoyed watching him take over games, even if most Hurricanes fans are still hate watching the Dallas-Winnipeg series. I don't blame him. I'm fine with it, but I have enjoyed it. But the reason they went out and got Rantanen was because they weren't sure that Andrei Svechnikov was ever going to be that guy now. Now, I'm not saying he's Rantanen, but playoff Andrei is a problem for the other team. I have enjoyed watching playoff Andrei.
Yeah, and he's just got to become playoff Andrei, regular season Andrei at some point in his career, because he's capable of it. And maybe this is going to, hammer it home. Maybe if this continues and you're not there yet, you got to go to Washington, and you never know what can happen in a series. But say, as we play with this a little bit, that he has a great run here, and they go really deep, and he gets a chance to play for it. And if he ever gets a chance to win the Chalice, maybe that, sells it in terms of what he needs to do, because he can be a star. He is a star, but he can be a superstar if he wants to commit to some things that help him in the playoffs. You can do that in the regular season too. You're
allowed.
It is allowed. It is allowed to just be a consistent, reliable guy that can play in all the fine details of the game, is within the framework of the team game. Stay on your discipline. Don't take your penalties, and break open a game, because game breakers in the NHL are hard to find.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's been good. The first couple of games of the Devil series, none of their top guys were good. They just won games. And now we're starting to see, even though Aho and Jarvis have been a little bit, sleepy offensively in this series, it's good to see them combine on the second goal. I thought it was good play by both of them. The Andre has been more of the goal scorer, which is really, frankly, what he probably should be. But don't you think Carolina's kind of winning this series with their depth?
Yeah, they are. They're because it's shift after shift, and it's the follow-up shifts that's keeping them in a position to take over games. So when Washington has 2 or 3 chances right off the hop, and there were a couple of real good sequences where Rod rolls a line and they do well, and they do what they need to do to press the other team, and then the next line comes out and does the same thing, and the next line comes out and does the very same thing. So that's the secret sauce that they do have, is that internal depth, that the players all look alike and they all play the same way. That's honestly a good thing, although people take shots at that too.
They do.
But that's what you want. That's what you want in a hockey game. And if it's 12 plus 6 and 1, and sometimes you have to get to the other goalie too, but that's what wins. As cliche as that sounds. And you need your guys in the moments, like Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow night need Austin Matthews. Mm-hmm. Okay? In that game, in my opinion, they need him. Whether he's hurt or not, we'll find out. But somehow he's got to fight through and be at the head of it so that the rest of these guys can move along. That's where that series is at. For the Hurricanes, it will appear, and it certainly did early in the second period. It was a great play. They took advantage of the ice they were given at the attacking blue line. Aho made a tremendous play. Thompson probably would like to have that whole sequence back. He paused the puck. It goes off the metal. It ends up on Jarvis's stick. But as we said on the air last night, if you play well, and it's always been the case in hockey, you earn the luck. And so the bounces that go the way of the Hurricanes are fortuitous, but for a reason. And that's what's so great when they're on their game, and they are on their way the way they're playing.
All right, we will leave it there. John Forslund, Seattle Kraken play-by-play voice, NHL on TNT and Sports USA. Congratulations! I know your son is graduating law school. That's awesome, and certainly good that you don't have to keep the tuition bills. And I appreciate you, and I'll see you during the conference finals.
Yes, Matthew Forslund is going in the Junior Hurricane Law School Hall of Fame.
Well, congratulations. I want to be invited to that ceremony.
Okay, you will be. You will be.
Thanks, John.
Okay, take care.
Awesome. John Forslund, who was at the game last night. Hope he has a great rest of the week with his family. He's back in town. Who knows? Maybe we'll see him in the building for the conference finals. Of course, Carolina's got to get there, and nobody should assume anything. Washington wins Game 5. We've seen these two teams play now 4 times. Even though Carolina's been the better team, could it have gone either way in basically every game? Yes, it could have. Washington could have been ahead in Game 3. Carolina ended up winning 4-0. So, sports comes down to moments. Carolina has won the biggest moments 3 out of the 4 games. So, we'll see what happens on Thursday. Canes get an extra day off. They'll practice tomorrow. Then they'll fly out after practice to D.C. All right, when we come back, Taylor Zarzour from SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, but also, I didn't even realize this, he is the voice of the Tennessee Titans, too. Maybe we'll mix in a little NFL? Maybe? I don't know. Taylor Zarzour next.
Talking sports, so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the Giants goal!
Let's go, Canes!
The Chetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
May is the perfect month to get on a motorcycle, and it's also Motorcycle Awareness Month. I'm Victoria Vodnecker here from 99.9 The Fan for Law Tigers, and as someone who has ridden before and is currently getting back into the swing of things, it's always a good idea to keep some simple things in mind to help you stay safe on the roadways. First up, make sure you are always wearing a USDOT compliant helmet with eye protection because those bugs feel like rocks when you are riding down the highway. Also, keep your lights on even during the day because standing out is imperative. These are simple reminders to help prevent an accident from happening, but if one does, call Law Tigers first before calling your insurance company. At Law Tigers, they're riders too, and they know the value of your bike and gear and the investment you've made. Case evaluations are always free, and you won't pay a dime until your case is settled. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey, and at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, we understand your concerns when it comes to buying an engagement ring. Am I paying too much? Am I getting a quality diamond? Will she love the ring? Rest assured, we prioritize your happiness as much as the exquisite diamonds we offer. That's why we provide unparalleled guarantees to give you peace of mind. First of all, we offer an incredible 30-day money-back guarantee. Secondly, with our unique 100-day price protection, we promise you'll get the best price, quality, and value. But if you find a better offer, we'll match it and give you 10% of the difference. But we don't stop there. We also offer an unprecedented lifetime diamond guarantee. It's our way of giving you confidence throughout all of your cherished moments. We've been locally owned since 1948 and voted the best jeweler year after year. At Bailey's, we're not just selling jewelry. We're providing a legacy of trust. We invite you to shop with us and experience the difference.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See Owner's Manual for important operating instructions.
Gold. Gold.
If Andrei Svechnikov watched Eric Cole highlight tapes and cause chaos.
Hey, hashtag, you didn't even mean to do that, did you?
I didn't. Well, that's the old one.
I know, but
right?
It's still relevant.
Now we're raising up. Maybe we should go back to cause chaos.
I know, we need to go back to causing chaos.
This is interesting. I did kind of subconsciously bring that out.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Graham Hill, our guest DJ today. The NFL announced, we're going to bring in Taylor Zarzour here in a minute. NFL announced their international game schedule. The Carolina Panthers are not involved. Minnesota's involved twice. The Vikings will play in Ireland against the Steelers, and then the next week they will play against the Cleveland Browns in London, which not arduous travel apart from the initial plane trip. The Denver Broncos and Jets will play in London as well. Then we've got the Rams and Jaguars also in London. The Jaguars are always involved. Falcons and Colts will play in Germany. Commanders and Dolphins will play in Spain. And there is your international schedule for 2025. So that Miami-Washington game could be interesting. Falcons-Colts, I mean, anybody's guess what either of those two teams are going to be. Who knows who's going to be the quarterback for the Colts? I think we can assume it'll be Michael Penix for Atlanta. But Carolina not involved in this whole shindig. Last night, the NBA draft lottery was held, and conspiracy theorists had their red meat because the Dallas Mavericks were winners. 1.8% chance. People, this ain't the frozen envelope of 1985 or whatever that year that was, that the Knicks got Patrick Ewing. And I'm not even saying there was a frozen envelope, but at least at that point, it was far more likely that you could craft a conspiracy. Now, you just can't do it. Every team is represented in the room when they hold the lottery. There are accountants everywhere. The amount of people you would have to satisfy in some way, shape, or form to pull off this conspiracy is mind-blowing. It ain't possible. Stop it with your conspiracies. The Tennessee Titans were spared of having to go to Europe, although I don't know that spared is the right word. I did not realize this until I glanced at his Twitter feed, which he barely ever uses, although he's using it more now, because Taylor Zarzour is the new voice of the Tennessee Titans. It almost makes me want to talk NFL with you as opposed to the PGA Championship, which is in your backyard, sir. How are you?
You taught me everything I know 20 years ago.
Oh, stop.
And, I did retire from Twitter for about 12 years, and I've come out of retirement. Well, sort of. Someone else is sending out tweets on my behalf for the Tennessee Titans, but I'm not the biggest fan of that community.
Totally understand.
As you know. But I am a big fan. Katie Zarzour, current sophomore at the University of North Carolina, is very excited about listening to Adam Gold talk about her Carolina Hurricanes. That's for sure.
Oh, is she a big Caniac?
She is a Caniac. Yes.
Awesome.
And we will be back. I mean, I'm sure you're talking about this.
Yeah.
This team it's been. I was next to you and Cuba Gooding Jr. and Rod Brindamore 19 years ago.
Yeah.
This feels a lot like that. So we'll be seeing you very soon.
All right, good. I'm glad. Reach out, please. But first of all, congratulations on getting the Titans gig. That is awesome. You are in illustrious company when it comes to NFL radio voices. We're obviously very good friends at West Durham with the Falcons, and Anish Sharaf with the Panthers. And you know, you did radio TV games in the preseason with the Panthers, and before that, Mick Mixon, who is still, in my mind, a legend. And sometimes when I am on our tractor, I will call Mick on his tractor and just talk John Deere-related things. Let me get to the PGA, which is in your backyard. Are you as close to Quail Hollow as Gary Williams is? We spoke to him yesterday. He says he's like a mile. I asked him if he could walk to the course. He said he would sashay.
Well, that's Gary. I mean, Gary is a sashayer. It's interesting. I'm just thinking, I know where he lives. It's going to be close. I bet you he's got me by a quarter of a mile. He's a mile and change north of the course. I'm about a mile and a half, 2 miles east of the course.
Nice.
I have to go by the course to get to his house from my house. But yeah, this is awesome, man. I mean, to get to have this in our backyard is such a treat. And, listen, there are a number of places I know that would love to stage a major championship. But if you've been here, you know this place feels like what Atlanta feels like for a college football, SEC or semifinal or national championship game. Like, it feels where a championship should be staged. Like, that is the way they've built the golf course so that it can be a main venue for the biggest events. And this feels like the crowning jewel of all of that with the way the golf course is set up. It's a real shame about the forecast. I just heard a horn sound as you were talking a moment ago, and I don't know what that means, but we had bad weather yesterday, and we are going to have a storm at some point today and a storm at some point tomorrow, and maybe one on Friday and maybe one on Saturday. But I've had the great privilege of going to Augusta National for 17 straight years, if you can believe that. And this golf course is in as good a condition as that one is. Now, it doesn't mean that, I'm saying it's Augusta National, but I'm saying it's in the same condition. And it is, it's everything you'd want for a major championship. And especially I know you're a big golf guy, but with all the momentum that the men's professional game has right now, this is it's really awesome to get to have it right here.
Oh, it is a great venue, and it's got the signature 3 finishing holes, which are no bargain to make birdie on, which is a little bit different from a lot of venues, right? When you talk about major championship venues, because there are always birdie holes coming in. I'm not saying you can't birdie 16, 17, and 18 at Quail Hollow, but there is trouble lurking all over the place. But let me ask you about the odds-on favorite. although he's not the betting favorite because Scottie Scheffler still is the betting favorite. When you go 30 under par in your last outing, it's kind of hard to overlook that. But Rory McIlroy has 4 wins in 13 tries on that golf course. Does that create more or less pressure on Rory?
If he hadn't have won the Masters, there would be extraordinary pressure because of where we're playing and the fact that he hasn't won a major in 11 years. Instead, I think it just creates a tremendous amount of comfort. Maybe it creates too much of it. I think that's a fair question coming in because this place is really like a second home to him. He won his first PGA Tour event here 15 years ago. Traditionally, most of the last 15 years, he has celebrated his birthday here, and each year. He just turned 36 last week. So this place it carries a lot of special meaning to him. Last week when he saw Jordan Spieth, Spieth congratulated him on completing the career Grand Slam, and Rory said, well, you're next week. And Spieth said, yeah, right, at Rory McIlroy Country Club. It really does. I mean, he knows this golf course better than anybody. He is extremely comfortable on it, knows where to hit it, hits it further than anybody, can take lines that anybody not named Bryson DeChambeau can't take. He has a massive advantage here because of the comfort level he has. But having said all of that, the guy that you just referenced before him is the best I've ever seen at executing the correct shot time and time again. Tiger Woods didn't always execute the right shot, especially off the tee. In fact, Tiger's recovery shots were remarkable. Scotty doesn't hit recovery shots because he doesn't need to. He always hits the right shot, and he's got to be a factor. I mean, he's always going to be a factor, but he's got to be a factor this week.
Again, he was 30 under par. He made a joke of which was it, the CJ Cup, right? The Byron Nelson. He made a joke of it.
Yeah, 31 under.
30. I shorted him one. I feel bad. That I shorted him that one stroke. Yeah, I mean, look, there aren't that many guys who can make a mockery of a PGA Tour event. It created a narrative that it's boring. I'm like, I get it. Scotty isn't the most exciting player to watch unless you like low scores. But he's just a technician. I mean, he just takes apart a golf course. Real quick about Jordan Spieth, because, he is the next guy who could complete the career Grand Slam. His road back has been maybe a little slower than he would want. How close do you think he is to getting the whole game back?
I think he's closer, Adam. He is way better off the tee than I have ever seen before.
Okay.
His ability to find fairways off the tee is better than ever. The thing that I still worry about with him is you put him in the middle of the fairway, he wants to have a 2-minute conversation with Michael Greller about hitting a standard wedge or 9-iron shot, and he has a tendency to overthink those shots. You put this guy under a tree with a water in front of him, he's going to hit the greatest shot in the world because it requires one remarkable 20-yard cut or draw, and he doesn't have can't go through there? No. He doesn't have a chance to overthink the shot. But in the middle of the fairway, he's doing way too much of that. And that's the thing that I worry about still with him is that he is not Scottie Scheffler. He can't hit the same standard shot over and over again. He's getting better at it, but I think there's still in the back of his mind, he's worried about his wrist. He had surgery on it last year, and anytime he makes contact with the ground, there seems to still be some hesitation there. So the consistent performance that we've seen from Spieth is still not, to me, the same level as the first 5 or 6 guys you would name to win this event. But I hope he finds the best week because that'd be a great story for us to follow the next few days because he's a lightning. He brings a lot of energy with him, and because of his passion for the game, there's going to be a lot of people out here pulling for him, but I'd be a bit surprised if he has a real chance to win Sunday.
Taylor Zarzour is joining us here. Aside from all of his other jobs, host on SiriusXM in the morning, the starter, but also anchors their coverage of major championship golf. So I know you'll be very heavily involved this week. You would agree, though, that Spieth and McIlroy and Bryson DeChambeau they are the 3 needles in the sport to whatever degree. I think Rory's the biggest needle, maybe Bryson next, but then Spieth would be right behind, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that if you asked golf people that love golf, Rory is the biggest name.
Yeah.
If you ask anyone that might be interested in watching a tournament, Bryson might be the biggest name. I don't think you have to love golf to be interested in Bryson. He brings a different dynamic. But yes, because of the way Spieth plays the game, the creativity and the uncertainty of what might happen next, yeah, I would say his name is probably next in this, I guess we're calling it this post-Tiger Woods era.
Yeah. It is a post-Tiger Woods era, unfortunately, because, it's been a long time since we have seen him. It's hard to believe that 2019 is 7 years ago. I'm blown away that it's 7 years ago. Before we let Taylor Zarzour go, we'll just ask him this question. Other than Rory, who wins?
Bryson.
Yeah.
And I think, especially given how soft it is, Adam, the length is a massive factor here. This is a huge ballpark. It's almost 7,700 yards from the tips, and you have to hit the ball in the fairway, and you have to hit it 300-plus yards off the tee so that you can have a mid-iron to a short iron in your hands. And I think that this Bryson, we've seen major championships over the course of the last 12-plus months, really beginning at the Masters last year when he was a factor, PGA Championship last year when he lost by one, the U.S. Open, which he won, the Masters last month where obviously he was a factor until the last 9 holes. This guy is very comfortable in this setting, and I think this major championship probably sets up best for him. He doesn't have the experience on this golf course that Rory has, and there is a little rivalry that seems like it's brewing between the two of them. Now, if you're asking me like who I'm most confident is going to finish in the top 5, I would say Scotty. I'm less worried about him having a bad round than anybody in the field. But I do think the ceiling for Rory and for Bryson is higher than it is for Scotty, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And, he'd be the next guy I'm looking at. I didn't like what I saw with his irons at Augusta National.
Correct.
He had a lot of remarkable recovery shots over the weekend. But if he has those dialed in better than he did in April, then I think he has a real chance to win the PGA Championship.
I just hope when Bryson and Rory are paired together in the final group, I hope Rory at least says hi. So Bryson will.
He wasn't going to do that. He tigerized his mind, if that's a word.
It is.
That last day, like he head down, focused on winning. Period. And I think that served him well, and it got in Bryson's head, which I didn't think was possible. So that'd be a really interesting story if we get to that.
Taylor Zarzour at Titans TZ. You changed your Twitter handle, too. Good for you. Congratulations on that gig. Hit me up when you guys are headed over to Lenovo Center for a game.
I would love it, man. I can't wait. Thanks, AG. I appreciate you, man.
You got it. Taylor Zarzour here on the Adam Gold Show. Literally looking through his Twitter just to get his Twitter handle, which I know he doesn't use, but we give it out. And I'm like, wait a second. Just named the Titans play-by-play voice. All right, when we come back, we've got one-timers. At the top of the hour, Brian Murphy, WRAL sports investigative reporter, sat down with Bill Belichick at Amelia Island. We will bring you that interview in its entirety at the top of the hour. But one-timers is next.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold for my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. How many different words can you come up with to describe a home run, a dinger, a tater, a big fly, an Oppo taco, right? A moonshot. We have all these euphemisms, and on FanDuel, every Tuesday is Dinger Tuesday. They chose that one. That means when you bet on home runs, you can take your winnings to new heights. It's a little profit boost, a little sprinkle for you. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Claim your Dinger Tuesday profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
There's no party like an all-star party. The NASCAR All-Star Race roars into North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's back this weekend for a no-holds-barred, old-fashioned mountain showdown. NASCAR's biggest stars going for all the money and bragging rights under the lights at one of racing's most iconic tracks. Metal will bend, dreams will end, and the fun? Well, that doesn't stop all weekend. Kick your May into high gear. Get your tickets today at northwilkesborospeedway.com.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Here at NC Cyber Academy, screens are a good thing. At our K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school, your child can find a flexible and personalized education that lets them take a brain break when they need it, but also provides structured one-on-one time with our amazing teachers. But we also power down our laptops for in-person activities with fellow students to build community. Visit myncca.com to learn how we can set your child up for success in the classroom, at college, and in their careers.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Do you know someone who's lost a loved one to overdose? Every day, the disease of addiction is taking lives and devastating families. But this crisis is preventable. Join the Governor's Institute in the Be a Superhero in the Overdose Battle campaign. Together, we can spread awareness, fight stigma, and save lives. Learn the signs of overdose. Know how to help. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero today, because doing nothing shouldn't be an option. Be a hero. Take action. Save a life.
May is Older Americans Month, and AARP North Carolina is working to flip the script on aging. From helping you stay physically and financially secure to making sure our state is great for all ages, AARP is right here in your backyard, offering local events and advocacy to improve lives and communities. Let AARP help you get the most out of life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
This is Adam Gold.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
That was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Graham Hill is producing Victoria on assignment at a rock music festival. If Woodstock was in Florida, I think that's what we would call it. Top of the hour, Brian Murphy from WRAL-TV 5 and WRAL.com will sit down with Bill Belichick, and we will bring you that interview in its entirety. So that's coming up just after 1 o'clock. Right now, one-timers.
Well, speaking of the Bill Belichick interview, Brian Murphy already has the exclusive sit-down with him. At 2 o'clock on SportsCenter, he's also going to sit down with ESPN. I'm curious. What football questions would you want ESPN reporters to ask Bill Belichick during his interview from ACC spring meetings in Amelia Islands? It feels like so far, recently, it's just been all about Jordan. Can we actually talk about some football when it comes to Bill Belichick and Carolina?
They're not going to talk about Jordan. which is fine with me. Here's the thing. The question about football that I would want to know from Bill more than anything else is tell me what he believes, because I'm sure he has looked, what he believes the difference between playing good football and great football is. And I'm not talking about execution of plays. I'm talking about personnel. Where is the ACC drastically different from the SEC or from the Big Ten? That's what I would want to know from Bill.
Fair enough. Carolina Hurricanes pick up a 5-2 victory over the Washington Capitals last night in Game 4. We know the Caps are going to play desperate in Game 5. What challenges do you see them throwing at the Hurricanes in an elimination game scenario?
If I were Washington, since it's happened throughout the playoffs, including to Carolina, I would try to get in Freddie Anderson's kitchen and rattle his cage. That's what I would. If I were Washington, that's what I would do. Freddie has been the difference in those moments where Washington could have taken control. Certainly in Game 3, first 30 minutes, and first 7 minutes or so of Game 4 last night. Plenty of opportunities to make, that scoreboard in favor of Washington. Freddie didn't allow it. If I were Washington, that's what I would do.
Sticking with the Carolina Hurricanes in last night's game.
Sure.
Just because we got a hit quota for Canes Twitter. What did you make of Alexander Nikishin skating with the team during pregame warmups last night? Is that just a welcome to the Novo Center?
No. There was a reason for it. Rod said after the game, and he said today that they just wanted him to, get a feel for what that's like. Look, I think Rod knows that he's probably going to need a defenseman at some point. You can't go on a long playoff run and not have a guy miss a game or 2 or 3. You just can't do it. Dallas is getting Miro Heiskanen back tonight after not playing a playoff game yet. And Nikishin would be the next guy in, I believe, and that's okay. But it might have been a game-time decision for Chatfield, too.
From the heels
Touchdown, Carolina!
to the Canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hello, friends. Let me tell you about one of the coolest hangouts in the Triangle. X Golf in Cary. Adam Gold here for X Golf, the premier indoor golf experience in North Carolina. Serious high-end simulator play where you and your regular foursome can play Bethpage Black, site of this fall's Ryder Cup, or you can choose from about 60 other world-class tracks, or just hang out, chill with a drink, some great food, watch the game. Incredible night out. McGregor Shopping Center. X Golf in Cary. PlayXGolf.com/Cary.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh, yeah! Big money!
Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki Outboards May 16th through the 18th. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and price to move now. Test ride your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale, May 16th through 18th at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki Outboards.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
It's been said that when someone you love has Parkinson's, you have Parkinson's. If you have questions, the Parkinson's Foundation has answers. Learn more at Parkinson.org or call 1-800-473-4636.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Well, UNC is special because of the brand. It's a great academic school. It's a great athletic tradition. And, again, the fact that there were some roots there for me early in my life, that was coming full circle was a good feeling. Well, I just love coaching. I love all the aspects of it. I love the team building. I love fundamentals, working with players, strategy, game competition, and just the whole process. Football's been good to me. It's been good to my family. I grew up in a football family, with my dad and around Navy football, and a lot of great players and coaches that I've interacted with in the NFL. So it's fun to be a part of a team.
Little sneak of what you're about to hear. I'm Adam Gold. This is the Adam Gold Show. Graham Hill sitting in for Victoria. Rest of the week, do you and I hang for the balance of this week, or are we getting the Max experience?
You get the Max experience tomorrow and Thursday. The lovely lady, my girlfriend's moving to Raleigh this week, so I'm happy to do. I have no choice. Like when guys know it, when the girl needs
very appropriate for this segment.
Yeah. We didn't even time that out at all.
Very appropriate for this segment.
I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Max experience tomorrow. I'll be back on Friday.
Excellent.
You might want Max to stay, though.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I see Max at the arena as well. Max does some work over at Lenovo Center. So, no, Max is capable. So we have Graham Hill today and Friday. Max tomorrow and Thursday. Max will be here when I stop paying attention to the radio and just watch the PGA Championship, right? That's when Max will be here.
So just to ease Max into it, I don't want to give behind-the-scenes secrets away. You're just going to try to pre-record so that way...
The entire show so I can watch
So that way all Max has to do is just press buttons.
I wanted to do that for the Masters.
I remember you saying that. That's why I brought it up.
I didn't actually plan it out well enough to put 3 hours of radio on wax and then just sit here and, come introduce pieces like Hugh Downs used to do in 2020. So only people my age will remember that. Hugh Downs was the host of 2020, the news magazine on ABC, and never did anything other than introduce pieces and talk to the reporter, ask one question that was written for him. What a great gig. Love that gig. Don't have to do anything. All right, lots to do here. Coming up in a little bit, we'll talk to Kanata Edwards about the NBA draft lottery, where the Charlotte Hornets sit in terms of who they are likely to get at number 4. What should they do? Should they trade back? Whatever. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Jason Tatum's unfortunate injury, which not only will rob him of the rest of this postseason, which might only be one more game, but all of next season if it is, in fact, a torn Achilles. And we're talking about more than likely, what is he going to look like? Because not everybody comes back from that. What is he going to look like for the following season? Remember, it took Kevin Durant a while to become Kevin Durant again. Took him a while, so we don't know. Jason Tatum is much younger than Kevin Durant was when Durant suffered his Achilles. Anyway, we'll do all of that with Kanata Edwards coming up at about 1:20. But right now, Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter from WRAL-TV 5 as well as WRAL.com, got an exclusive interview, at least at 1 o'clock, or actually when they recorded it about 11, with Bill Belichick, North Carolina head football coach. And before we start, just so you know, and Brian put this out on when they posted it to YouTube, that North Carolina asked that the interview be strictly about football, so there are no questions about Jordan Hudson. Just so people understand that if you are expecting to hear stuff about Jordan Hudson, sorry. But here is Brian Murphy and UNC head football coach Bill Belichick.
When you took this job, that there would be so much attention that you would bolster the profile of Carolina football this much?
I wasn't really focused on that, Brian. It was more just to come in and, try to work with Mike Lombardi and our staff and try to put together a good team and a good program, and represent the school well on the football field. And that's really what we're trying to do. So, glad people are excited, but really just focused more on the product and delivering.
Has it surprised you at all that so many people want to hear about Bill Belichick at Carolina, so much interest you guys are going to Ireland?
Yeah, well, that's a long way off. We got a full season ahead of us before that, but that'll be exciting. But no, the support's been amazing. The alumni, Carolina fans, and great response from the players, the people there that are on the football staff and on the team. How hard they worked and their commitment to to doing the best they can and try to put a good team together.
Can I ask you what motivates you to stay in coaching? You've accomplished probably more than anybody who's ever picked up a whistle, and now you're kind of starting over in college. What are you trying to prove? What do you have left to prove? And maybe to who do you have anything to prove?
Yeah, well, I just love coaching. I love all the aspects of it. I love the team building. I love the fundamentals, working with players, strategy, game competition, and just the whole process. Football's been good to me. It's been good to my family. I grew up in a football family, with my dad and around Navy football, and a lot of great players and coaches that I've interacted with in the NFL. So it's fun to be a part of a team.
You mentioned your dad's connection to UNC when you got the job. Was UNC like a sort of a specific school that you would have come to, or if Pitt or Maryland or Oklahoma State had called, would you have entertained more options than just North Carolina?
Well, UNC is special because of the brand. It's a great academic school. It's a great athletic tradition, and again, the fact that there were some roots there for me early in my life that was coming full circle was a good feeling.
What surprised you the most, good or bad, about being the head coach at North Carolina?
I've just enjoyed the process, really. Enjoyed the people. The support's been great. It's a great opportunity, and I just appreciate every day at Carolina.
You've turned your roster over through the transfer portal, including after spring ball. How difficult, you're only going to have a couple weeks of fall practice. How difficult will it be to build a cohesive team, a winning team, with just a couple of weeks to kind of pull all the pieces together?
Well, it's not dissimilar to the model that we had in the NFL, where after the draft and free agency signing and all that, you bring in about a third of your team is brand new, and so we'll be somewhere in that range when we start fall camp. But we'll have a couple months with them here in the summer, and we've had a good spring with a lot of these guys as well. So it is what it is. I mean, all schools are have a similar situation, maybe not quite the same numbers, but some degree of freshmen coming in, transfer portals, some more than others, but we'll take it as it comes, and excited to have the players that we have and work with them.
I know you like to talk about you don't want to set expectations, you just want to get better every day, but what does success look like for you at North Carolina?
Getting better every day. Just coming in and having a good day, having a productive day, and then rest, recovery, and do another one tomorrow and keep stacking them on top of each other. That's how you achieve success, is consistency and the discipline to do it repeatedly over and over. So that's what we're going to try to do. We'll let the process play out, but it's important that we develop a good, solid routine.
How important was it that you get to work with people like Michael Lombardi, your sons? You have a lot of, I guess people would call Belichick guys around you as you embark on this adventure.
Well, we have a few, Brian, but we also have, well over 200 years of NFL experience on the roster in various capacities, from our chef to our nutritionist, strength training, scouting, operations, and so forth. So it's really important that we provide the student athletes with a great experience and everything they need to be successful. And then if they put in the work and we do a good job developing, then hopefully they can achieve their individual goals, and collectively we can achieve our team goals. So that's what we're about.
Two quick ones. You have a quarterback, it looks like, in Gio Lopez. How are you going to handle that quarterback battle when it comes to the fall, and who do you think might even be in that competition?
Yeah, well, the competition's always in the hands of the players. I can't control performance, so we'll give everybody an opportunity, let the players compete, and we'll see how it all turns out. But, we're excited to have the competition, not only at quarterback, but really at most every position on the field. And again, it'll be up to the players to perform and earn those spots. Everything will be earned, and we're not handing anything out. It'll be competitive, and the guys will get what they earn. And they're all competed hard. They're working hard, and so look forward to seeing what that brings.
You've certainly got a lot of attention here in the last couple months. What's it like to be with football guys, talking football? I know you have some old friends in there, Bill O'Brien, Frank Reich. What's it been like to be at these meetings and really getting into the season?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great to talk about some of the things, with the ACC, college football, things that, are all of us are involved in. There's certainly a new model here for college football, NIL, rev share, and other things that are, being discussed with the House settlement that are sort of up in the air, but they're sort of coming together. So just everybody's trying to figure it out and, get ready for the season.
How much are you talking in those meetings? Obviously, you're a respected voice when it comes to football, but, there are people who've been coaching college football a lot longer. So are you speaking up, or are you sitting back and kind of taking it all in?
Oh, I'm listening to people like Dabo who've had a lot of success and have been doing it a long time.
Great. Thank you so much.
Great.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Brian Murphy with Bill Belichick, the head coach at UNC, and of course that was from WRAL-TV 5, WRAL.com as well. Thank you very much to them for allowing us to present that conversation to you. Again, they were not going to ask. They were asked not to ask any questions about Jordan Hudson or Miss Maine. I think I found out today that she finished third. Bronze medalist.
Or second runner-up, however it is.
Yes, that's right. Second runner-up.
However it is that they decided.
She won a bronze. Gold, silver, bronze. There's nothing wrong. Like when you win a bronze medal at the Olympics, it's celebrated. It should be celebrated. She was the third best Miss Maine.
We're hitting all of our quotas today. Alexander Nikishin, the last hour. Bill Belichick. Right. Jordan, this hour.
Alexander Nikishin didn't finish third in the Miss Maine competition.
We're on top of it today, Adam.
Yeah.
I just jinxed us, but.
No, it's okay.
No, interesting conversation. Right. Again, credit to WRAL-TV and sports investigative reporter for them, Brian Murphy, for going down there, being boots on the ground at the ACC meetings.
Yeah. I mean, I can picture Brian with boots on the ground.
Wearing he might not be wearing boots if he's in Amelia
Islands. He's probably wearing
Florida.
khakis and a button-down.
Hawaiian shirt.
No, I don't see Brian Murphy as a Hawaiian shirt guy. But I'm sure we'll get him on. Maybe we'll get him on Friday when you're back. We'll do we'll have him on the round table, and we'll see if he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I don't think he's a Hawaiian shirt guy. I could see him maybe like a casual, like a Tommy Bahama, like a bowling shirt, but not necessarily a Hawaiian shirt. You got to be special. It's a special kind of something to do a Hawaiian shirt. Anyway, the thing about, and you asked me this question in one-timers, because I do have legitimate football questions. And look, there are a lot of people with opinions about whether or not Bill is going to be successful at UNC. And there are, like Pablo Torre yesterday from Pablo Torre Finds Out. It's a podcast. He used to be with ESPN, and he was on a Dominique Foxworth show. We played the audio. And they asked him if he thought that it was possible that Bill never coaches at UNC. And Pablo's response was, my sources tell me it's a real possibility that he never coaches at UNC, which is saying nothing, really. There's nothing definitive. Yes, there is every chance that no, maybe.
Oh, they're just in his contract, his buyout goes down. I can't remember the full amount, but it significantly goes down.
$10 million
after
to $1 million
1st.
June 1st. Like I've said before, this would be some kind of grift for Bill Belichick to not coach this year. And I would never put anything past anybody, but I think there is way too much invested from the university standpoint. There is way too much invested from his standpoint for this to blow up unless we get into scandal territory, and we haven't even come close to scandal territory. There's nothing that has happened that would rise to the level of, I'm sorry, we got to move on.
Yeah.
Jordan Hudson interrupting a CBS Sunday morning interview because she doesn't like the question that was asked. That ain't a scandal. That is a rookie move from a young woman who doesn't really get the national PR game. So is it a self-own? Yeah, kind of. Is it a big deal? No. So, and making the leap that would equal bad football or an unsuccessful program, look, you might be right, but it won't have anything to do with what Jordan Hudson has done. It certainly has not been great for Bill, and I'm not saying it doesn't reflect on the university, because right now, how is he identified? Look behind me, right? We're talking about Bill Belichick, and we've got the UNC logo up. The school can't separate itself from Bill Belichick because he is the UNC football coach. So these are one and the same. By the way, we got a Patriots picture there. We need something with UNC on it. Not that we have that, because we don't really have it yet. But what really annoyed me is that he did the interview wearing a Navy sweatshirt, an old one at that. But that's what would have annoyed me for the university standpoint. And then the school puts out a statement after all of that. I mean, it clearly wasn't the school's idea for him to do that. That was about a book.
And then Michael Lombardi goes on Pat McAfee's show and says, I know the powder blue is deemed soft to other opposing fan bases, which is something that I don't think any Carolina fan would like to hear.
Hey, look, Matt Brown from Extra Points, good friend of this program, comes on a lot. I think, something very interesting to say. That the football programs that have hired general managers coming from the NFL, Andrew Luck's a little different. Andrew Luck looks like he's running Stanford football. Cal, the community, wants Ron Rivera to do the same. I don't know that it's the case, but Andrew Luck fired the current coach, hired Frank Reich on an interim basis. They're going to go through a search, but it looks like Andrew Luck is running Stanford football. That's more than just being the GM. That's an NFL structure. Michael Lombardi works for Bill Belichick. It's not the other way around. But Matt Brown's point was that coming from the NFL, and Lombardi said a bunch of things in a recent interview. It might have been the McAfee interview, in which he couldn't believe that players were breaking contracts, that players that were here already when they got here were walking out on contracts. It's because there isn't any structure to the NIL revenue sharing system. There's nothing. The University of Arkansas is still suing Nico Iamalieva's younger brother, Madden, because he accepted a spot at Arkansas, got NIL money, and now had got in the portal and went back with his brother to UCLA. They're suing him for $200,000. They want him to pay $200,000 to get out of the contract. Here's the thing. You know what the courts don't like about the buyout idea? They don't want it to be penal. They're basically charging him a $200,000 penalty for leaving. Look, I'm not getting into the nuts and bolts of it. That's going to be a problem for the University of Arkansas, or for the collective that wants their money back. Anyway, my overall point is that these guys who were in the NFL all come from a world in which collective bargaining set the parameters for how everybody was going to operate. And until there is collective bargaining in this realm, it's going to be impossible to navigate. It is going to be, I hate the phrase, the wild, wild west. It's just going to be totally unstructured. By the way, they want a salary. We have a salary cap coming in with the House settlement, right? You know, they've been operating, well, until recently, they've been operating on a salary cap for years. College sports has been operating on a salary cap. You know what the cap was? 0. Because the athletes weren't supposed to get a dime. Were the athletes getting money? Uh-huh. So we're going to have a salary cap of, a revenue sharing cap of what, $21 million a year? Well, you don't think the outside forces are going to exceed that? Really? Collective bargaining. That's where we got to go. All right, we'll come back with my friend Nata Edwards from CBS Sports. We'll talk hoops. We'll talk Jason Tatum's Achilles. We'll talk Cooper Flagg, Charlotte Hornets, and more next.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Let's go! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the shot.
Let's go, Canes!
The Chetkov, stop! It's on the goal line behind him! He does a snow angel in the paint!
Go, Canes!
Playoff hockey in Raleigh is something that you can't describe, and it's because of you. So we want to be here.
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. You know what day it is, right? It is Dinger Tuesday, and at FanDuel, we celebrate the big fly, the long ball, the tater, the home run. That's right. That means when you bet on anytime home runs, you can take your winnings to a new height because we have a profit boost. Go to FanDuel.com/AdamGold, FanDuel.com/AdamGold every Dinger Tuesday. Looking at the Mets hosting the Pirates. Juan Soto plus 360? Gosh, that looks good. How about Francisco Alvarez at plus 560? FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, outdoor and home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through May 14th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Thursday, June 19th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Football legends collide at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Inter Miami and FC Porto. Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba taking on Diogo Costa and Rodrigo Mora. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Adam Gold.
I have so many questions, too. Like, is the mom going to be in the business, too? Are we going to have, like, themed UNC products? She's in it, so...
Interesting ram horn you've got there.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Graham Hill digging the crates. You're an old soul if you like this.
Man at work.
Yeah.
Just like Nata Edwards is hard at work right now with NBA draft coverage.
He's got a lot of stuff going on. I had this on cassette back in the day. My friend Nata Edwards, at Nata the Scribe on Twitter, CBSSports.com, Ion College Basketball Podcast. Do you even know from cassettes? You're way too young to have been burdened by cassettes back in the day.
I am so glad that you decided to compliment me with something that is absolutely not true, sir. I had the Tupac All Eyes on Me double cassette. I used to have, no, quite literally, I have Green Day's albums on cassette. I still have these cassettes, by the way. My nieces occasionally come over and borrow them.
Wait. You have a cassette player?
I don't have a cassette player. I have the cassettes. I just, like... There may be an occasional hoarding tendency in me. It's one of those things. It's like it's the humility square in my the quilt that is me. So I tend to hoard some things. So I have cassette tapes. Yes, my nieces have cassette players because the youth love cassette players for whatever reason.
Right.
I don't understand. I don't judge, but I do have cassette players. I do have cassette tapes.
Did you have a Sony Walkman?
No, because that was only for the rich people.
Yeah, I'm with you. I had a Sanyo. I don't even know what it was called. I didn't have a Sony. I had a Sanyo. I don't think does Sanyo even exist anymore? My gosh.
No, I don't believe so. Only in batteries. Maybe only in batteries. I'm not kidding about that. I think I've seen some Sanyo batteries recently.
Oh, yeah. I think they sell that at Jordan Hudson's mom's boutique. In Provincetown. All right, then we're not going to talk about that. All right, Nata Edwards, Nata the Scribe on Twitter. Let's get into the NBA draft lottery from yesterday.
Yes.
I guess we should start at the top. It's not a conspiracy because way too many people would have to be bought and paid for. We're talking about numbering in the thousands, which is never going to happen. So Dallas lucked out and won the NBA draft lottery. Cooper Flagg is the obvious pick. But I heard Jay Williams today on ESPN, and I think Jay makes sense. If Dallas wants to win in this year, next year, year after, then trading the pick, I would stop at Giannis. There's nobody else I think you could trade for that, short of Luka, which I don't think is going to happen. That would be a good fit for Dallas. But if you could get Giannis in a package for Cooper Flagg, would you do it?
Man, no, because I think the way that this team is going to, the thing that you have to remember about the Dallas Mavericks is that they still have first-round picks out there that are floating out there. Let's say you do trade for Giannis. You still have the Charlotte Hornets own a top 1 protected pick they still own a pick from the Dallas Mavericks.
Right.
That is something that, For me, it's a long-term piece. You just draft Cooper Flagg. You build around him. Now you don't have to worry about all these max salaries. And as we've talked about before, with these 2 luxury tax bans, the one thing that is probably the most valuable is a rookie salary. Nico Harrison would be an outright moron to trade Cooper Flagg. Now, yeah, I know. But I just say this, Adam. Like, it would be bordering on absolute lunacy to trade Cooper Flagg in an environment in the CBA like the one that the NBA has right now. Absolute lunacy.
All right, that makes sense. So, for me, if you are, I mean, what you've got is you have Anthony Davis. I don't know if they're thinking about moving him on, and I guess that's too many players for the same position. If you went Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, some of the other bigs, they are loaded with athletic bigs. Of course, they were all hurt this year, so it's hard to tell. And then you throw Cooper Flagg, who's probably going to be a 3. I don't know. Is he a 3 or a 4 at the next level? My sense is 3.
I would honestly scale it down. I think he's a 2-3. I think with the body type and everything else, he's an ideal NBA 3, but I can see some scenarios where you play him at the 2.
Well, his favorite player, the player he models his game after, and we're going to get to what just happened, is Jason Tatum, correct?
Yes.
And Tatum is, he is not
3-4.
Yeah, is he a 3-4 or is he really a perimeter player?
He's closer to 3-4. I've seen, now granted, the Kristaps Porzingis edition has made it where he plays more 3 than 4, but I do remember Ime Udoka using him a lot at the 4 as well. It's one of those beautiful things where he's got enough versatility to where it doesn't necessarily matter.
Right.
You can put him as a perimeter base 4, but he also plays a lot of 3.
Yeah, Cooper Flagg, man, he initiated so much offense. They treated him like a point guard. He really is such a perimeter player. But, I mean, he can do everything. And has Mike Krzyzewski essentially ruined position basketball by making everybody positionless?
I don't think he's ruined it. I do
kidding.
think that but honestly, I think he's opened up the game a lot more. I do think that a lot of this defined by position thing. Now, granted, I do believe that there are 3 positions: guard, wing, big. I do believe that there are those. I do think that blurring those lines has only helped the game and created this offensive explosion that we see for 82 games and helped create this defensive crunch that we've seen for the 16 wins you need to win the finals. I do think that's helped a lot. So I wouldn't say he's ruined it, but I do thank Mike Krzyzewski for at least introducing us to a new era.
Yeah, he has broken a lot of dishes about what NBA people how they look at the game. And I've always been told that when they go, he's a 1, he's a 2, whatever, it's about the defensive side, not the offensive side of the ball. Kanata Edwards, at Nata the Scribe on Twitter, CBSSports.com is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. So the Hornets, it was written somewhere that they actually won. 4, fine, whatever.
Compared to Utah and Washington, they absolutely did win.
Yeah, wow.
Yes.
Washington it was a tough night for the district last night. Capitals took one on the chin. The Nats got walked off, and I think by the Braves, and the Wizards did what the Wizards did. All right, let me ask about the Hornets. Who was the best fit for what they need? I don't care about they draft 4. I don't care about who is available at 4, who they should take. Who's the best fit?
The best fit is going number 1, and that would be Cooper Flagg.
Right.
The second bet, the best fit after that, you can make a case for VJ Edgecombe, who might be there at 4. You're talking about a 6'5"
he will be there
guy.
at 4. I'm almost positive.
I don't know. You're talking about a guy with explosive athleticism, whose jump shot, who hit 47% of open threes this year for Baylor. And we both know the Scott Drew system is kind of like Dean Smith. If you score 20 points, you must really be doing something. So I tend to think he's going to have a higher offensive ceiling than what we think. Plus, he plays some killer defense, and you can slot him in between LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller and do some things and basically mitigate what they don't bring you on defense. The closest thing I could come up with, closest comp I could come up with, and it feels unfair, is Victor Oladipo. And we all remember Pacers Victor Oladipo and how dynamic of a guy he was before he shredded his knee. I think that's the closest comp I can come up with, but I do believe that there are a lot of traits that just make him the ideal fit regardless of where he's drafted. The other guy that I would caution and I have to throw out there, Trey Johnson out of Texas is athletically better than he showed, and I think he was in a horrible situation in Texas, and Rodney Terry rightly got fired for it. I think with his numbers, shooting 38% from three, he's a sneaky good fit as well.
All right, let me just throw one thing at you, because when I saw the list of players that would be available to them, and I don't know that I would take this player at 4, but what do you think of the future of Kaman Malawach?
He is a project that I would be scared to draft in the top 5. He's a guy that I do believe the physical gifts are there. I do think that I'm not sure I ever believe he's going to shoot threes at a regular clip. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I'm not going to be willing to gamble on it. I do think that he left a horrible final taste in a lot of scout mouths with the way that Houston game went. But to be fair, that man had a significant distraction of potentially getting deported. Yeah. So I don't necessarily blame him. I do think that he's one of those guys that, the closer you get to 10, the more comfortable I am drafting him. The closer to 5 you get, I get kind of uncomfortable because a top 5 pick, while not being an instant, immediate gratification of wins, it needs to be somebody that can make an impact on every other night basis at this point.
Kanata Edwards, at Nata the Scribe on Twitter, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Because you're not going to take him at 4, but if you could trade back and get Malawach, it would certainly make sense. It would give you maybe a little bit more of a defensive presence than Mark Williams gives you in that regard. And then if he grows into his offense, and I think there is offense to grow into. He's relatively new. He looked, he was, too young in the international stage, but he certainly didn't look completely overwhelmed by it all during the Olympics. So I just think there's so much room, and you can't teach 7-2 if he could stay healthy. I think there is something to be said for that. All right, let me get back to because we already mentioned Jason Tatum. Awful scene last night. This is literally adding injury to insult as the Celtics are 3-1 down in the series to the Knicks. And we haven't gotten official word, but there isn't anybody that doesn't think that it's an Achilles tear, which now we're talking about, forget about this playoffs, we're talking about next year. And I know he's much younger than Kevin Durant was when Durant had his Achilles injury, but it took Durant longer than the year off to get back, right?
Yeah, it took Kevin Durant 500 days. And Kevin Durant, when he came back, looked like he missed a step, maybe a step and a half, but it was fairly seamless. And I look at a case similar in Breanna Stewart. It took her almost 400 days. It takes a while for this to get back. So next season, that's out of the conversation.
Right.
To start 2027, the 26-27 season should be the goal. That should be the goal. 2025, 2026 is out. Starting off 2026, 2027, having him back potentially, that should be the start of the conversation. Anything earlier than that is a pipe dream, and at that point, we don't know what the Boston Celtics are going to look like by 2026, 2027.
Yeah, are they? I still think they can win this series. That's not crazy to think, right?
I don't think they can. I think a lot of what they could do well, if Jaylen Brown had a better series, I think I could go there. But I think you're relying on a lot, and I also think that this is why it's so hard to repeat. Why we haven't seen a repeat championship is because it takes so much to get there that getting back right now with the amount of depth in the NBA is just a heavy lift that I don't think is possible right now unless you're quite literally 9-10 deep, and the new NBA CBA does not allow for that.
Yeah, and the truth is, if you looked at the box scores from last night, both teams basically played just 7 guys. So the Celtics are already they were a 7-man team. Tatum only had 42 last night. So let me get into really quickly about the Knicks. Jalen Brunson had 39, 26 in the second half. The Knicks scored 71 second-half points. That's probably the most troubling thing if I'm a Celtics fan, that, wait a second, we know what they're going to do, and we can't stop it? I mean, it's the worst offense in the NBA, just to give the ball to Jalen Brunson and everybody leaves. But I guess it works. Jalen Brunson is one of those players who could simply score at will, even when everybody knows what they were doing. I joked during the Pistons series, oh, look, the Knicks are surprising everybody by just giving the ball to Jalen Brunson. And Detroit couldn't stop it, even with Thompson, who I think is a dynamite defensive player. But are the Knicks just tougher right now than Boston?
I think the Knicks are just more, again, I would go tougher. I would go much more resilient. There's a lot of signs that the Boston wasn't really going to be what they were, and a lot of people, including myself, ignored them. I thought Boston was the best team in the East.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you start looking at the numbers, they don't, half of their shots are from 3. That's a recipe for losing. You start seeing that they don't really get to the rim as much as they used to. Jaylen Brown doesn't get to the rim as much as he used to. That's a problem. The defensive numbers are slipping to the point where, again, they give up 71 points to a team that is basically running 1-4 ISO with Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, and then everything else goes off of that. I do want to say, Josh Hart being that guy that is just junkyard dog is so clutch. OG Anunoby showing why quite literally you traded for him. Mikal Bridges semi-justifying 5 first-round picks being traded for him. There's a lot of this to where I don't want to give the Knicks credit, but I kind of have to, because the way they're built, they are just built to wear you down.
Yeah.
And dare I say it, the Knicks may be in the finals for the first time in 25 years, and I don't know how to feel about that.
And Latrell Sprewell nowhere to be found. Real quick, but by the way, 3 guys from Villanova plus the Pope. I mean, you'd think maybe the
divine
Knicks,
intervention, absolutely.
Maybe the
divine
Knicks
intervention, yeah.
They could be dealing with something here. All right, so real quick to assuming the Knicks move on and assuming the Pacers move on, I am begging TNT. Give me Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller on that series whenever TNT has those games. I just want that, just because even though I hated the Pacers because that was almost at the height of my Knick fandom, and I hated the Pacers, I want those flashbacks. I want those highlights, Miller and Spike Lee. I want them.
So what you're telling me is that you need an alternate cast with Mike Breen, Clyde Drexler. We get LJ in there for the 4-point play nostalgia.
Yes.
And maybe we go find Allen Houston too. Is that what you're telling me?
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. There's a Capital One commercial there somewhere with Spike Lee and Reggie Miller. There's got to be. It's either a Capital One or a Wendy's commercial. Kanata Edwards, you're right about the Knicks. They could end up in the finals, but I am team Tyrese Halliburton these days. I love that kid. He is a blast.
That man got called overrated, quite literally, right before the playoffs began, and then has gone and just been on a tour of destruction, reminding everybody why he's that good and why he's not overrated, but he's just properly rated.
Exactly.
He's just one of the better point guards. He's one of the better wings in the game right now. And I'm just impressed because it's like we've almost forgot Rick Carlisle can coach.
Right.
We almost forgot about that.
Yes.
And then it turns out oh my God, this team, which doesn't have a draft pick above 5, by the way, is 1 win away from going to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals visits.
Yep.
Think about how crazy that is after the whole kerfluffle about the lottery and how you need top 5 picks and everything else like that. Indiana is showing that maybe top 5 picks are overrated a little bit.
Kanata Edwards, At Nata the Scribe, CBSSports.com, Ion College Basketball Podcast. I appreciate your time, man. Talk to you soon. Next time, I promise you, next time, we will work in NL East leading New York Mets.
I mean, at this point, I'm very happy to see it, but again, I just need Soto to really, really get it going at this point.
He'll be there when it matters. Let him figure it out. Let him figure it out. It's the Mets, man. Nobody ever comes here and is good. Ever. It took Lindor 3 years to figure it out. I don't think it'll take Soto that long.
Well, coming from Cleveland to New York is like going from like proto-civilization to actual civilization. So we got to give him we got to grade that on a curve.
Exactly. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you soon, man.
Peace. Canada Edwards here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, we're going to stretch. We're going to place bets, and I'm going to tell you why absolutely the Hurricanes won Game 4 last night. A reason that you might not know. Next.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold for my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. How many different words can you come up with to describe a home run, a dinger, a tater, a big fly, an Oppo taco, right? A moonshot. We have all these euphemisms, and on FanDuel, every Tuesday is Dinger Tuesday. They chose that one. That means when you bet on home runs, you can take your winnings to new heights. It's a little profit boost, a little sprinkle for you. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Claim your Dinger Tuesday profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. During this sports season, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling to and from athletic events. Wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. Prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. Remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Imagine a school where you could study AI and ancient Egypt, become a National Honor Student, join a cooking club, or code the next big video game, and do it all in a comfortable space. Your own home. Welcome to NC Cyber Academy, a K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school that provides you with a flexible, personalized education designed to prepare you for college and a career. Visit myncca.com and discover a learning experience that works for you, your family, and your future.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Every day, people battling addiction suffer in silence. Because of stigma, they fear judgment. They fear being labeled, and too often, they don't get the help they need. But you can help change that. Join the Governor's Institute and be a superhero in the overdose battle campaign. Learn how to break the stigma, support those in need, and save lives. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero to get involved. Be a hero, fight stigma, save a life.
May is Older Americans Month, and AARP North Carolina is working to flip the script on aging. From helping you stay physically and financially secure to making sure our state is great for all ages, AARP is right here in your backyard, offering local events and advocacy to improve lives and communities. Let AARP help you get the most out of life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
This is Adam Gold.
And I did have to use two screens at one point, or a couple of points, and I don't like it. I can't watch two games at the same time.
There's a lot going on.
I'm sorry, I'm incapable of doing that. Because there were times where, I forgot this other game was on in front of me.
Yeah.
The Adam Gold Show.
Now you're just showing off. It's the Adam Gold Show. Grant Graham going into his personal collection today for the bumps. Nothing wrong with this, by the way. All right, we're going to place bets in just a few minutes. But before we do that, and before we stretch, I guarantee a Hurricanes win, Graham?
You bet on them, or you bet against them.
There you go. Washington Capitals on the money line in game number 4 was plus 235. Mike, that's good value. And I gladly donated American currency to the cause. I feel much better about things. I actually never at any point thought about the wager until the game was over and went, well, that was money well spent.
There you go.
I would pay for each win. Only got 16 of them. How bad can it be? Right? I would pay for every win. So I gladly donated that currency, just like I did in Game 3. That's right. I donated in the Devils series. I took the Devils to win that series.
Your donations are much appreciated by Kings fans.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why we're here. To make sure that we win. So, Caniacs, you're welcome. It's time to stretch.
Speaking of gambling, NBC dropped a Woj sides bomb during its upfront presentation on Monday morning. No, there was another Luka Doncic trade. This might be something bigger.
Okay.
Like I said, speaking of gambling, Michael Jordan, yes, that Michael Jordan will contribute to NBC's forthcoming NBA coverage. Also announcing contributor Dan Kaplan was at the NBC upfront with news of the reveal that we will see legendary figure real soon. He will become a member of the sports media for the first time. NBC issued a press release about Jordan's contributions. In the release, Jordan said, "I'm so excited to see the NBA back on NBC. The NBA on NBC, a lot of N's here, was a meaningful part of my career, and I'm excited about being a special contributor to the project. Looking forward to seeing you all when the NBA on NBC launches this October." Jordan has not regularly appeared on NBA television coverage in any capacity since his retirement in 2003. Six-time NBA champion has instead focused his post-playing career on other business ventures, such as owning, then selling the Charlotte NBA franchise. Jordan also found 23 XI Racing, which fields a NASCAR Cup Series team. I apologize to any NASCAR's fans if I butchered that. As for his media ventures, Jordan has, of course, starred in Space Jam and has also been involved in a number of brand activations. What world are we living in where Bill Belichick is friendly with the media and also Michael Jordan is going to be a part of an NBA panel?
That is, look, Gretzky's doing it for TNT, right?
Right.
He doesn't do a ton.
Biz as well.
Right. Well, yeah, but what I'm talking about is Gretzky, like the greatest player of all time.
Okay,
so, Paul Bissonnette and Wayne Gretzky, they might, have similar interests. Golf, hanging out, but as players, not on the same level. It is interesting. I wonder how candid Jordan will be? That's my curiosity. Like, would Tiger Woods make a good golf commentator? And the answer is no. He would be terrible, like Greg Norman was terrible. Because it's all about your personality.
Right.
Does Jordan have that personality, or is he just going to talk trash to everybody?
I just can't wait for him to get in his first argument with one of his co-hosts and takes it personally, and then...
How many rings you got?
Exactly. There you go.
So...
It's going to turn into a Capital One commercial.
Place your bets.
They all are.
Bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
If only we had Michael Jordan money to place our bets with.
You're right. That's why Al Gore invented bonus bets, Graham.
Perfect. Would you like me to start, or would you like to go first?
You go first. I always
Winnipeg
go second.
Jets at the Dallas Stars. Game 4 tonight. Stars lead the series 2-1. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me Nino Niederreiter to register a point plus 155. Has hit in 4 of his last 4 games in this series.
Is that a shout out to our friend Sarah Sivian?
Sure.
Yeah, because she used that all the time with Nino Niederreiter. A friend of ours from the Civ Report. The Civ Report on Substack. You should check it out. All right, well, look.
Last 4 games against Dallas, sorry, not 4 games of the series.
Okay, the day ends in a Y, right?
Yep.
Mikko Rantanen is going to have multiple points in this game.
Why did I not?
Right. So it's an easy one. If you just want to do that one, it's like plus 175. Two or more points. It's going to have multiple points because, again, day ends in a Y.
The fact that's plus money is also...
It surprised me that it was plus money. Dallas wins. Dallas minus a goal and a half. Over 5.5. I think Winnipeg will score. But I think Dallas is going to win this game like 5-2.
I actually took the Jets puck line plus 122, so when I come back on Friday, we might have to owe each other a Brugger's bagel or something.
That's fine. But Dallas minus a goal and a half, over 5.5. Mikko Rantanen, 2 or more points is plus 428. There you go. Have a little fun with that, people.
NBA playoffs, the Indiana Pacers versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Game 5. Indiana leads the series 3-1, but they have plus money on the money line. Plus 240 for the Pacers. Give me Tyrese Halliburton to finish off the Cavs tonight.
All right. The Mets and the Pirates, I think this is probably going to be the last one I will do. Mets and the Pirates are playing at Citi Field in New York. Paul Skeens pitched yesterday. There will be home runs hit today. Juan Soto is plus 420. Yeah. Who doesn't love 420? Juan Soto, anytime home run. There you go.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
You've been to all those fancy driving range experiences, but you need closer to the real thing. Adam Gold here. What you need is X Golf in Cary. High-end simulator play. Food, drinks, fun, maybe even a date night, even serious competition. Buddy of mine plays in a league there, and he loves it. Memberships are available. All levels of player, all ages. North Carolina's premier indoor golf experience, and there is a PGA professional on site. Online. PlayXGolf.com/Cary. PlayXGolf.com/Cary.
It's back. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki Outboards May 16th through the 18th. And it's bringing the largest inventory and deepest discount of the year. Save thousands off top brands. On-site financing to get you approved and on the water. Boats in stock and priced to move now. Test ride your boat at delivery. Get in a new boat or upgrade in time for summer. The Chatley Boat Show and Sale May 16th through 18th at the Car Scott Building in Raleigh, featuring Suzuki Outboards.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened?
I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
We don't want you on our team.
You're not the right fit for this job.
You're too slow and fast. Don't you care how you look?
Weight bias hurts. Go to stopweightbias.com. A public service message from Obesity Action Coalition.
The golf season is here. Time to upgrade your game. Head to Global Golf and explore Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned golf clubs. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned player, our expert staff will get you fit. Are you ready to trade in your current clubs? Global Golf makes it easy to trade in your previously played equipment and upgrade to your next set of clubs. Visit Global Golf today, located on 7320 ACC Boulevard, North Raleigh. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
We will never see, going into a season and during a season, more attention paid to a singular football program than will be paid to UNC football this year, because Bill Belichick draws eyeballs not just of college football, but of pro football. He is a celebrity. It would be almost like Ryan Reynolds being your head coach. Bill is a celebrity, and I think we found out over the course of the last football season when he was on Peyton Manning that there is a personality there. He is funny. He's super smart. He's a great football coach, all of that. It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. EJ Hradek, NHL Network, is going to join us in about 15 minutes to talk about last night, talk about where the Hurricanes have an advantage over the Washington Capitals. We'll hear from Washington head coach Spencer Carberry here in a minute. Also, the Hurricanes had a media availability today. Rod Brindamore spoke, and we will get his thoughts on the separation. And I know that there are people who firmly believe the Hurricanes are going to go to D.C. and wrap this series up. I'm willing to donate money to the cause, so you know what? I should start a GoFundMe for to have people contribute to this and really ratchet it up and really guarantee wins. Does it change based on the amount wagered?
I mean, I lose enough money sports scaling as it is, so I would gladly contribute to a GoFundMe.
I can't remember the last bet I won. I literally can't. It's been
after we just placed best in our last segment.
Yeah, I can't remember the last one I won. I've actually
those are for units, though. Those are for units.
Right. I've actually, sometimes I use them, but I haven't used any of the winning ones lately. Like I had a bunch of anytime goal scorers in hockey recently, and I had 2 anytime home run hitters recently, but I generally don't play those. So, that segment is just for fun for those people who are interested. But Juan Soto is going to homer tonight against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's going to take it to the bank. All right, lots to do. We'll talk to EJ Hradek in just a little bit. Also, coming up later on, you'll hear Brian Murphy from WRAL-TV 5, sports investigative reporter, will hear his interview with Bill Belichick. It was a quick one, but an exclusive at the time. I know Bill is probably on SportsCenter pretty much right now, right? So I don't know. Maybe we'll dip into to that when they shuttle out highlights of that coming up in a little bit. But right now, Wall of Sound.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's get right to it. We'll start with head coach Rod Brindamore. This is after they did not practice today. They will practice tomorrow, fly out to D.C. after practice, and my prediction is they will not skate in front of game number 5. They will not skate. Rod will just take the practice on Wednesday as the last time they will hit the ice. I mean, guys always come in and get treatment. Maybe they get on the ice and skate a little bit. The extras will skate. We know that. All right. Here is Rod Brindamore in terms of really what is separating these two teams in a series the Hurricanes lead 3-1. Seriously, think about where Carolina has gotten an advantage just in games 3 and 4. Would anybody have been surprised had the Capitals scored first in either game? No. Capitals were the better team for the first 30 minutes of game 3. Probably should have had 2 goals. Got none. Carolina's been there. That happened in game 1, right? And last night, Washington had a couple of great scoring chances early. But would anybody have been that surprised had Taylor Hall not finished that play and it remained 2-1? Or that Sean Walker not finished that play and the score remained 3-2? And all of a sudden Washington's pulling the goaltender for an extra attacker and now you find yourself potentially in overtime and then it's anything could happen? So Carolina is not... Whether or not they're better isn't even the point. They are better than Washington. But these games are absolutely on a razor's edge. So anything can happen. That's why you don't want to play a game 6. You want to go up there and try to end the series and leave Washington there. Come back by yourselves. It should be the plan. Here's Spencer Carberry. Because I remember when it was 2-1 at the time. It was just a few minutes after the Capitals had made it 2-1. And the stretch pass for Taylor Hall, he was so far behind the defense. My first reaction was, how the hell did he get there? Like, I couldn't believe he was standing at the blue line. How could he get there? I mean, 30 feet behind Washington's defense. Spencer Carberry was asked how they allowed that to happen.
Yeah, both our D lost basically track of that there was a guy in behind, so our forecheck and failed forecheck, and then both D are down.
Yeah. Failed forecheck. Both of our defensemen forgot that there was a player behind us. Hall spoke about it in the postgame last night and said, basically, I read the play. I thought we were going to get possession of the puck, so I just stayed there. All right, then. I like it. Good read on your part. The turning point in this game might have been at the end of the first period. Might have been. I mean, Carolina scored first, right? They got the Shane Gostisbehere goal, middle of the frame. But Washington, after that, got the first penalty. Terrible call on Seth Jarvis, but either way, got the first penalty. Carolina killed it. And then got a 4-minute double minor for Jordan Martinook high sticking. Not only is it a 4-minute double minor late in the period, but one of your best penalty killers is sitting in solitary. And Carolina was able to kill that off, even though 24 seconds leaking over into the second period, but that was an easy one. Here's Spencer Carberry on watching that.
Well, I saw what everybody else in the room saw. It was not good, and so we made some adjustments, made some changes to personnel on it, but you can't, like, their penalty kill is excellent, best in the league, has been for the last, 5 years, call it. But it can't look like that. It cannot look like that.
It can look like that. Carolina's been there. We feel your pain, Spencer. But 2, when you go against a penalty kill like Carolina's, now we've seen teams beat it. We've seen Tampa tear it apart. We've seen the Rangers tear it apart. So we in the regular season, I think we saw Winnipeg, who has one of the best power plays on earth. We saw them tear it apart. It can be beaten. It's just hard. And if you don't move the puck fast enough, you got no shot unless you get lucky. And Carolina's penalty kill has been next level.
Only 2 shots allowed last night on that double minor penalty. Or double minor power play for the Capitals.
There was not a whole lot going on. And the thing is, for whether it was Jarvis the first time, but more importantly when Martinook was in the box, Carolina, without Mark Jankowski in, has only 5 forwards that they generally use on the penalty kill. And one of them was in the penalty box. So you've got 4 forwards that you normally would use in the lineup available to you to kill a 4-minute double minor. It could have been harrowing, except that they were so good, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Washington didn't put enough pressure on them, but I wouldn't want to live by that. No way. No way. One more thing. Here's Jay Will, or Jay Williams, as he is known on TV, on the Mavericks and Cooper Flagg and what he would do with the first round pick if he were Nico Harrison.
Now, I know it's going to be controversial, but if I'm Nico Harrison, I'm trading the pick. Like, look, there's something. He just got back into good graces. I hear you. I hear, but I'm not sure for a guy like Cooper Flagg. I think he needs reps. I think he needs a lot of room to grow. I'm not sure championship aspirations right away for him. Yeah. Now, look, the basketball part of me loves the thought of AD, Cooper Flagg, Derek Lively in the backcourt, right? But when I look at the value, could you potentially package something like this to get a Giannis? Could you package on a one-on-one trade to get a Devin Booker? Could you get a Tyrese Maxey? If your championship window is in 2 to 3 years, could you utilize that pick and some assets to get somebody who's ready to contribute to you right now with the pressure in the West Coast?
What are you doing, Al? What are you drinking? What do you got?
I think Jay Will has a point. I know we talked about it with Kanata Edwards, and he said no, wouldn't do it. Flagg on a rookie salary is what you got to take care of, like he's a quarterback. Maybe. Look, I'm sure there are different ways to do this. But I would do it if I could get Giannis. I wouldn't do it for anybody else. For a transcendent player, yeah, I'd do it. Are you taking a chance that Cooper Flagg will not be a transcendent player? In some ways, yes. But here's the way I would look at it. If Nico Harrison is still the GM, he's going to trade Cooper Flagg at some point anyway, right? Kidding. It's just a joke. All right, when we come back, EJ Hradek, NHL Network on Game 4, and maybe Game 5, and maybe a little about Miko. Next.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
September 1st versus TCU. That is UNC football's opening game. How many switches, how many twists in the Bill Belichick story are we going to get in the next 100 some odd days before the opener? Unlimited. It is insane, and UNC has to find a way to cut out the distractions and focus on football.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, it's
it's Victoria from 99.9 The Fan, and I'm so excited to be talking with Jerry from Law Tigers because it is writing season. I cannot wait. It is time to put the rubber to the road. Also, pollen in the face, but I'm excited for it to be writing season. So, Jerry, tell us what we need to be prepared for as we go into the season.
Hey, Victoria, yeah, it is definitely riding season. It's time to get out there and enjoy the motorcycle lifestyle. Please, please, please do a preventative maintenance checks on your bike. Make sure your tires are inflated. Do the things that are your responsibility to ride. After that, be on the lookout for all those other folks on the road. In the event that somebody does have an accident with you, please give your attorney a call. Call the Law Tigers. We want to make sure that you are taken care of. That's our job, is to take care of riders. Give us a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or lawtigers.com.
Thanks again, Jerry. And that, again, is lawtigers.com or 1-800-LAW-TIGERS.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Gold.
I'm really excited about next season, considering this was supposed to be a rebuild year. But with these new guys, like Bradley Nadeau, we've got Nikishin coming eventually. If we've got Hall still here, Jackson Blake, I mean, there's so much promise and potential. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, and just wait till the big kid gets ready to play.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Graham Hill producing the program today. He was at Lenovo Center last night, as was I, and saw a game that Carolina was better, but not dramatically so. Although the shot total at the end of the game would belie otherwise. Carolina was, again, excellent in the third period, although they did allow Washington the goal that made it 2-1 and then decided to commit the Dmitry Orlov interference penalty was not his finest moment. I think he knew it right away as soon as he did it. Wait, Tom Wilson wasn't the guy who dumped the puck in. That's a penalty. 5-on-3 for a minute 43. Didn't really take Washington that long Took them 17 seconds to make it a one-goal game again. EJ Hradek, NHL Network, first shift on NHL Network, joins us on the Adam Gold Show at EJ Hradek _NHL. All right, sir. Your thoughts on this series through 4 games, and I trust you had a good day yesterday.
Yeah, I had a really good day yesterday. As we discussed via text, I played golf with my son.
That's awesome.
Brooks. And so that's always, as you pointed out, it's always a good day when you can do something like that.
Yep.
So yeah, we had a nice time. And, through the 4 games, Carolina's been the better team. And they deserve to be up 3-1. And I thought Spencer Carberry made a great point last night in talking about his team. And, and I see this in all the series, and I really see it in the Toronto-Florida series, is that, these are all good teams.
Yep.
And it's the final 8, and the games are going to be close, and there's going to be situations in the game. It's situational hockey where you cannot afford to make a mental mistake, and it happens, and that's because it's always going to happen, but, the team that makes it at the wrong time ends up losing. And I think that the experience, in terms of the playoff experience, the Carolina Hurricanes, Adam, we've been having these conversations for several years now, right?
Yep.
They have experience, and that the Washington Capitals, they have some guys like Alex Ovechkin that have a lot of experience, but they have many others who have none. So I think it's, Carolina has been the better team, and they've taken advantage of these opportunities when they've arisen.
All right, there's a lot of things we can discuss. Carolina's depth has certainly been big, and we'll get to that. On home ice, but also even in Washington, Spencer Carberry hasn't really tried to avoid the Stahl, Martinook, and now William Carrier line. And they basically took Dylan Strome, Alex Ovechkin, and Tom Wilson kind of out of the game last night. There were moments, but nothing sustained and nothing all that dangerous. In fact, Ovechkin probably passed up his best shooting opportunity that wasn't on the 5-on-3 when he made the pass to Strome, which was really the right play, and Anderson made his best save of the night.
Yeah, listen, Spencer Carberry is another guy, Adam, like Spencer is a really, I think I've really been impressed with him as a young coach in this league, but he has not been into the fires of being the head coach in a National Hockey League Stanley Cup playoff series. This is only his second or his third, I guess. He was part of one last year, albeit a very short one against the New York Rangers. And so, he's learning as well. These are all part of it, and we'll see if he has any wrinkles or changes up his sleeve on home ice when he gets the last change. But, that team has been a team that right from the start of the year was very good. They kind of ran away and hid in the East this year. They won by a wide margin, and, he probably feels very confident in his players. But you get into these situations in the playoffs, it's just different, as you know. And, like I said, I give the Carolina Hurricanes a lot of credit. I thought going into this series, I thought Washington's a big, strong team. They've had a really good season. And Logan Thompson, I think, for the most part, has played well.
Yeah.
But, the Carolina Hurricanes just flat out played better in my mind. They've just, they've been more consistent. And they've really taken away a lot of time and space and made it hard for the Capitals. And, and even when the Capitals have responded, the Canes have managed to come back. Last night was a great example.
Yeah.
It gets to 2-1, then it gets to 3-2, and in both cases, the Canes find a way to score. So, they're in obviously a great position, up 3-1, and I think, like I said, this series could already be over, actually. They've played well in all the games.
EJ Hradek is joining us here in the Adam Gold Show. Going through the series against the Devils, we talked to a Devils reporter before every game, and the theme for Sheldon Keefe was they need more depth scoring, they need support scoring. It can't be just Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, and players like that, and the Devils weren't able to get it. Really could say the exact same thing for the Capitals. They've basically not gotten production from the bottom of their lineup, the bottom 6, Whereas Carolina is getting points from the blue line, and they've gotten contributions from Jack Roslovic, who scored a big goal. It was a power play goal, but a big goal in Game 3. Taylor Hall was playing on Carolina's third line or so. He scores a big goal, and they have like 7 or 8 goals from the blue line. So that's really where Carolina is separating itself.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at last night. I mean, now you get an empty net goal at the end, but I mean, like I looked through the group here. I mean, almost everybody had a point.
Yeah.
In the game. I mean, so, that's really good news for the Hurricanes. And you're right. They're getting a lot of, these depth scoring. And, it was like William Carrier, a smart ad, and I like when I see smart additions to teams. I mean, he's part of a championship team in Vegas, a team that he was part of that went to 2 Cup finals in his time there. He's a big, strong guy that's perfect for the playoffs. He's not going to play a ton of minutes in a game, but he's going to help you win board battles and be a good role player for you. And they've got, guys that fill different spots within their group that are playing well right now. Now, I would say that the path in the Metropolitan Division was quite frankly the easiest path.
Yes, it was.
But listen, at the end of the day, somebody has got to emerge, right? And the Washington Capitals are down 3-1. They probably thought this is great for them, and here they are. On the wrong side of that. So, good for the Hurricanes. They've been knocking on that door for a while. They've got still work to do with the Washington Capitals because, as we know, it's just hard to knock teams out, and it can turn around. We've seen it. But, I've been impressed. And, Freddie Anderson has played well, and he's been healthy. For them, especially in the second round here. So, those are always the questions, Adam. We've had this conversations for years.
I know.
I mean, will the goalies hold up? Now, I think looking ahead, because that's what we do in this business, right? If the Carolina Hurricanes finish things up and can win this spot into the conference final, I would tell you straight out, I think they have a good chance against Toronto because it seems like they've seemed to have played well against Toronto historically.
Yeah.
And I think they would have a lot harder time with Florida. And, the Florida's are defending champions. But I look at the Florida Panthers, and I just think that's a bad matchup for Carolina. So unless something changes dramatically. So, I mean, that's the way I see it. But, the good news is for the Hurricanes, they're taking care of business right now. And they're getting, as you point out, a lot of, guys are chipping in. And it would be a kick in the tail if this is the year they go all the way to the end in a year where there was, the Rantanen situation and other things that went on. I mean, this is why we love sports, and it's great storylines, and, we'll see where it goes. But they've played very well, through the first series plus here, well into the second round.
We are literally, EJ Hradek from NHL Network is joining us here. We are literally 3-4 weeks away from the Stanley Cup Finals, even beginning. I think 3 weeks away from it even being close, right? So, but it would be borderline hysterical if it were Dallas, Carolina. It would be hysterical if that were the case, but I'm not going to even think about that. I think Dallas is going to be there, although Dallas-Edmonton will be a fascinating, because I think that's where we're headed. Before we get to the Mikko Rantanen show, and I want to touch on that before we get out of here, Florida-Toronto, to me, has been fascinating. I thought Sergei Bobrovsky in the first 2 games in Toronto was, at best, mediocre. And I thought that was, nobody wanted to talk about it, but that, to me, was the difference in those 2 games, is that Bob just wasn't that good. He got good in the third period and overtime in Game 3 and was excellent, even though he didn't see a ton. I thought he was excellent in Game 4. I thought the better goalie, of course, was Joseph Woll, who was amazing for Toronto, gave them a chance. That game could have been 6-0. That's how good Florida was. But I thought Bob was excellent in Game 2, Game 4 as well. Who do you give an edge to? Is the pressure so great on Toronto, or does this look like a different team?
I think it's a different team, but, Adam, and thinking about this over the last couple of days and watching games 3 and 4 and watching Mitch Marner make a situational error in Game 3. They're up 3-2, and he's in a good position in the D zone. There's a battle at the blue line, and he blows the zone. They lose the battle, 2-on-1, tie game.
Yeah.
Game 4, it's 1-0, as you point out. Wall is giving them every chance to hang in the game. Nylander in the neutral zone, circling, tries to make a play with the Florida Panthers stacked up. The puck goes the other way. Bennett scores, 2-0, game over, right? So when I think about those things, like these are not guys in their first playoffs. These are guys that are deep into their career now. I mean, like they've played in the playoffs for the last several years. I think Toronto has the longest streak of consecutive appearances in the playoffs, oddly enough, right? And all I can say is, and this is maybe going to sound severe to say, but like I think really Toronto management to have stayed with Dubas and Keefe for so long was such a critical error, because these guys have come a long way this year in 1 year under Berube, but they still have things to learn years into this now, because they were just things that were not part of their game under Sheldon Keefe. And some of the players that they acquired under Dubas were just guys that don't play well in the postseason. So, like, to me, they should not be having this painful learning experience here, 8 and 9 years into, their playoff careers, but yet it still happens. And, we'll see if, they go to the tape. I'm sure Craig Berube sits down with these guys, coaching staff sits down, and they look at it. I mean, it's a hard game. I mean, it's like watching, playing Florida or playing in these games generally, to me, is like watching a baseline tennis match where two guys are at the baseline just hitting it back and forth over the net, right?
Right.
Pucks in, pucks out. Pucks in, pucks out. Soon as you try to go for that winner, you better make it. Like Nylander tried to make that play to Tavares, and, it didn't work, and the puck kicked the other way, and there goes Bennett. The games are tight. They're tense. Like I said, Carberry brought it up last night. And, for me, to go back, the Toronto Maple Leafs, with all the kind of resources they have to stay the course with those guys for as long as they did, I just don't understand why they did it. And, and maybe like a Sheldon Keefe, he's gone on to New Jersey, he's done okay. I think he's an okay coach.
Yeah.
But I've never been someone that felt like Sheldon Keefe was going to be confused with Scotty Bowman or Toe Blake. I mean, I just didn't understand, why they went with him so long. I think Berube's done a good job. And to get back to your question, I think the Leafs are a different team this year. They have some different personnel. They are in the battle. They are physical. But the problem they have is the Florida Panthers are just better at doing those things than they are. And they let Game 3, which was a winnable game, slip away.
They did.
And so now they're in a 2-2 game situation. They've got a tiger by the tail. The Panthers are playing better now. So we'll see where it goes. But I'm not going to count the Leafs out, because I've been very impressed with the way they have battled and stayed with it. They're just going to have to try to make, not make those mistakes when they matter the most.
All right, final thing for E.J. Hradek, real quick. We could talk about Rantanen. He's a great player. He's one of the 5-6 best players in the world. But this series has boiled down to, and really Winnipeg stay in the playoffs, has boiled down to Connor Hellebuck has his mask on backwards on the road. That's the only thing I can come up with. I can't fathom how he could be good at home and so bad on the road, although maybe it's his team in front of him. What do you make of that?
Well, I think he was better in the last game against Dallas, right, on the road. It was a 2-2 game. They had that strange goal that was scored. And in the end, by the way, 7 minutes to review that was I mean, somebody should call the police. I mean, that was ridiculous. To me, that's not a kick. And I've been to the GM's meetings every year. That's not a kick. That should have ended right there. It should have been literally one look, and it should have been over. But instead, what happens is they get into super slow motion like hell, and they try to find things that aren't there. So at any rate, they did play. He played better. They played better in that game. But listen, at the end of the day, in the first round, I kept saying as long as they win their home games, they'll still win the series, and that's what happened. Albeit they had to go right to the end of their last home game. In this series now, they've lost at home. that no longer applies, right? So they're going to have to find a way to win in Dallas. I think the series will rest on what happens tonight. I think if Dallas wins, they're obviously in a great situation. It looks like Haskin is going to play tonight.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go 11-7, which makes sense because he's been double-shifting Rantanen a lot with the fourth line anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see if Winnipeg can find a way. This is a good Winnipeg team, but Dallas, get back to that. They were deep in the last year. They've been deep in a couple of playoff runs.
Yeah.
They're a better team now than they were last year with the addition of Rantanen and now with Heiskanen coming back. So, Winnipeg's going to have to find a way to win one of these games in Dallas, and my advice would be try to do that tonight to get this thing tied up. But I'm really happy to see Miro Heiskanen back in the lineup, and I'll be curious to see how he performs, having been out for some 3 months now.
Yeah. EJ Hradek, NHL Network, at EJ_Hradek_NHL. First shift on NHL Network. Thank you very much for your time, sir. We will talk again, I'm sure. Hopefully this run will last at least a few more weeks.
I got a feeling it will.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I do too. Right. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Adam.
Take care. EJ Hradek here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, in a rewind, when we come back, we'll let you hear from Bill Belichick, the head coach at UNC, who sat down with WRAL-TV 5's Brian Murphy. We'll do that next.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold for my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. How many different words can you come up with to describe a home run, a dinger, a tater, a big fly, an oppo taco, right? A moonshot. We have all these euphemisms, and on FanDuel, every Tuesday is Dinger Tuesday. They chose that one. That means when you bet on home runs, you can take your winnings to new heights. It's a little profit boost, a little sprinkle for you. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. Claim your Dinger Tuesday profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's not about the cars, the speed, the action. It's not about the party or the long weekend. It's about them. The ones that gave everything. This Memorial Day weekend, we honor the fallen at America's Home for Racing.
The 66th running of the Coca-Cola 600.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Here at NC Cyber Academy, screens are a good thing. At our K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school, your child can find a flexible and personalized education that lets them take a brain break when they need it, but also provides structured one-on-one time with our amazing teachers. But we also power down our laptops for in-person activities with fellow students to build community. Visit myncca.com to learn how we can set your child up for success in the classroom, at college, and in their careers.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Do you know someone who's lost a loved one to overdose? Every day, the disease of addiction is taking lives and devastating families. But this crisis is preventable. Join the Governor's Institute in the Be a Superhero in the Overdose Battle campaign. Together, we can spread awareness, fight stigma, and save lives. Learn the signs of overdose. Know how to help. Visit governorsinstitute.org/superhero today, because doing nothing shouldn't be an option. Be a hero. Take action. Save a life.
May is Older Americans Month, and AARP North Carolina is working to flip the script on aging. From helping you stay physically and financially secure to making sure our state is great for all ages, AARP is right here in your backyard, offering local events and advocacy to improve lives and communities. Let AARP help you get the most out of life by listening to AARP Without Limits, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
This is Adam Gold.
He doesn't have many years to choose from.
No, and part of that was COVID. Nobody's picking COVID.
COVID was a great year.
Yeah.
Look, if you invested in Zoom,
oh, that was a good year.
You had a good year during COVID.
Yep.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. We got Graham Hill on the ones and twos. We have two NBA playoff games tonight, right? We've got the Pacers and the Cavaliers, with the Cavs with their backs to the walls, but they are at home. Indiana can close it out. They have a 3-1 series lead, just as the Knicks have a 3-1 series lead going back to Boston. And I believe Oklahoma City and Denver, that series is 2 apiece, right? Game 5 in OKC tonight. That has been an interesting series. There have been some good moments, great moments for both teams.
I forgot to put them in my place by bets, but Nuggets plus 340 on the money line. 340.
340 seems like a lot.
I know. I should have stuck, especially for a series just be tied at 2 apiece.
The funny thing is, unlike the NHL, where the two biggest of the 4 series that are going on now, the 2 biggest spreads were both in the East. Florida and the Hurricanes were significant favorites. I think the Capitals were plus like 210, 220 in the series. Both Toronto and Washington were both, way more than even money to lose, to win the series. The Hurricanes and the Panthers were, I think Carolina, they were both about minus 175. So whatever that translates into on the other side. And I thought that was pretty generous for Carolina, because I think even though Carolina's been the better team, I think these games could have gone either way. And frankly, Freddie Anderson has played better in goal than has Logan Thompson. The team has played better as well, but the goalies, Anderson has outplayed Thompson. In the NBA, some of the spreads going in were massive. The Celtics were like minus 600 to beat the Knicks. Oklahoma City was minus like 550 to beat the Nuggets. Minnesota no, I think that was a close one. And then Curry got hurt, and we all see what's going to happen to that series. The Cavaliers were a big favorite to beat the Pacers. And they had massive spreads there. If you like the underdog in all 4 series, my gosh. Looks like you're going to win 2 of them, maybe 3 of them if Denver can pull one out. That Golden State-Minnesota series, I think Minnesota was a slight underdog, but it was pretty close. And they might have been the favorite, to be honest. But the NBA just has, there's a bigger gap, and the nature of the game is such as well that it doesn't allow itself to variance, although the Knicks and the Pacers might be disproving that point. All right. Brian Murphy, WRAL-TV 5 sports investigative reporter, is in Amelia Island, Florida. And earlier today, before the worldwide leader got a chance to sit down with Bill Belichick. Brian Murphy had an exclusive one-on-one with UNC's head coach. Very quickly, I guess it was a contingency plan or a contingency on the interview. They would not answer anything non-football related. So if you're looking to hear dirt on Jordan Hudson and the relationship and Miss May and all of that, this is not the place for you. But if you want to hear Brian and Bill chat for about 6 minutes about why he thought this would be a good spot for him to make a mark as a college coach, well, this is where it's at. And this is Murphy and Bill Belichick, courtesy of WRAL-TV 5.
When you took this job, that there would be so much attention that you would bolster the profile of Carolina football this much?
I wasn't really focused on that, Brian. It was more just to come in and, try to work with Mike Lombardi and our staff and try to put together a good team and a good program, and represent the school well on the football field. And that's really what we're trying to do. So, glad people are excited, but really just focused more on the product and delivering.
Has it surprised you at all that so many people want to hear about Bill Belichick at Carolina? So much interest. You guys are going to Ireland.
Yeah. Well, that's a long way off. We got a full season ahead of us before that. But, that'll be exciting. But no, the support's been amazing. The alumni, Carolina fans, and great response from, the players, the people there that are on the football staff and on the team, how hard they worked and their commitment to, to doing the best they can and try to put a good team together.
Can I ask you what motivates you to stay in coaching? You've accomplished probably more than anybody who's ever picked up a whistle, and now you're kind of starting over in college. What are you trying to prove? What do you have left to prove? And maybe to who do you have anything to prove?
Yeah, well, I just love coaching. I love all the aspects of it. I love the team building. I love the fundamentals, working with players, strategy, game competition, and just the whole process. Football's been good to me. It's been good to my family. I grew up in a football family, with my dad and around Navy football and a lot of great players and coaches that I've interacted with in the NFL. So it's fun to be a part of a team.
You mentioned your dad's connection to UNC when you got the job. Was UNC like a sort of a specific school that you would have come to, or if Pitt or Maryland or Oklahoma State had called, would you have entertained more options than just North Carolina?
Well, UNC is special because of the brand. It's a great academic school. It's a great athletic tradition, and again, the fact that there were some roots there for me early in my life that was coming full circle was a good feeling.
What surprised you the most, good or bad, about being the head coach at North Carolina?
I've just enjoyed the process. Really enjoyed the people. The support's been great. It's a great opportunity, and I just appreciate every day at Carolina.
You've turned your roster over through the transfer portal, including after spring ball. How difficult, you're only going to have a couple weeks of fall practice. How difficult will it be to build a cohesive team, a winning team, with just a couple of weeks to kind of pull all the pieces together?
Well, it's not dissimilar to the model that we've had in the NFL, where after the draft and free agency signing and all that, you bring in about a third of your team is brand new, and so we'll be somewhere in that range when we start fall camp. But we'll have a couple months with them here in the summer, and we've had a good spring with a lot of these guys as well. So it is what it is. I mean, all schools are have a similar situation, maybe not quite the same numbers, but some degree of freshmen coming in, transfer portals, some more than others, but we'll take it as it comes, and excited to have the players that we have and work with them.
I know you like to talk about you don't want to set expectations, you just want to get better every day, but what does success look like for you at North Carolina?
Getting better every day. Just coming in and having a good day, having a productive day, and then rest, recovery, and do another one tomorrow and keep stacking them on top of each other. That's how you achieve success, is consistency and the discipline to do it repeatedly over and over. So that's what we're going to try to do. We'll let the process play out, but it's important that we develop a good, solid routine.
How important was it that you get to work with people like Michael Lombardi, your sons? You have a lot of, I guess people would call Belichick guys around you as you embark on this adventure.
Well, we have a few, Brian, but we also have, well over 200 years of NFL experience on the roster in various capacities, from our chef to our nutritionist, strength training, scouting, operations, and so forth. So it's really important that we provide the student athletes with a great experience and everything they need to be successful. And then if they put in the work and and we do a good job developing, then hopefully they can achieve their individual goals, and collectively we can achieve our team goals. So that's what we're about.
Two quick ones. You have a quarterback, it looks like, in Gio Lopez. How are you going to handle that quarterback battle when it comes to the fall, and who do you think might even be in that competition?
Yeah, well, the competition's always in the hands of the players. I can't control performance, so we'll give everybody an opportunity, let the players compete, and we'll see how it all turns out. But, we're excited to have the competition, not only at quarterback, but really at most every position on the field. And again, it'll be up to the players to perform and earn those spots. Everything will be earned, and we're not handing anything out. It'll be competitive, and the guys will get what they earn, and they're all competed hard. They're working hard, and so look forward to seeing what that brings.
You've certainly got a lot of attention here in the last couple months. What's it like to be with football guys, talking football? I know you have some old friends in there, Bill O'Brien, Frank Reich. What's it been like to be at these meetings and really getting into the season?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great to talk about some of the things, with the ACC, college football, things that, are all of us are involved in. It's certainly a new model here for college football, NIL, rev share, and other things that are, being discussed with the House settlement that are sort of up in the air, but they're sort of coming together. So just everybody's trying to figure it out and, get ready for the season.
How much are you talking in those meetings? Obviously, you're a respected voice when it comes to football, but, there are people who've been coaching college football a lot longer. So are you speaking up, or are you sitting back and kind of taking it all in?
Oh, I'm listening to people like Dabo who've had a lot of success and have been doing it a long time.
Great. Thank you so much.
Great.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
That was Brian Murphy, WRAL-TV 5 sports investigative reporter with Bill Belichick, North Carolina's head coach. If you tuned in during the middle of it, there were no questions regarding his significant other, his bae, Jordan Hudson. No Bay questions. No Green Bay, no Tampa Bay, no Biscayne Bay questions.
Nor should they be. I mean, we're 4 months. I understand the commodity, but folks, we are 4 months out from the college football season. Can we start talking about the gridiron, X's and O's?
4 months?
O-line, D-line. Less than 4 months.
We don't have mini camps. We don't have spring ball is done. There's nothing going on. This is the reason why we're having these conversations about, well, it's not the only reason. The real reason we're having the conversations about Jordan Hudson is because the behavior has been so erratic. It has been just ridiculous that she has brought them into this, that he has stood by and allowed this to be a sideshow. But it's also the void. If we had games, if we had practices and games, this would be a ha-ha, this is funny. But there's nothing. So this, I likened it to soap the other day.
Okay.
Soap attracts dirt, right? It cleans, but it attracts dirt. And that's what this is. This whole situation is soap. It is just attracting all the attention. And what's unfortunate for UNC is that through no fault of their own, unless you say, well, they hired him, but through no fault of their own, UNC has gotten dragged into this. It's bad for a lot of reasons, but just to get back to what an area I wanted to just touch on. And I have no desire at all to delve into Bill Belichick's personal life. I don't care how they met. I don't care what they do. I don't care about the role playing, him as a fisherman, her as a mermaid, or the beach photo. I don't care about any of that. Unless it really does negatively impact football, in which case, all right, that's why he's here. That's why the university invested not only millions of dollars, but they invested the reputation of the university into this. I was listening to Bomani Jones' podcast. He is one who believes it will not work, and that is fine. That's probably 80%, maybe higher, of the overall college football watching world It might be higher than that. It might be 90% of people who think this won't work. I probably would think more like that, except I've really tried very hard to keep an open mind about all of this. I think it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be an enormous success or it's going to be a monumental failure. There is no middle ground here. None. Because what is the middle ground? Give me an example, Graham, of middle ground in this situation for you.
Let's say North Carolina football, especially with their schedule next year, let's say they finish 7-5, 6-6 at the worst.
That's monumentally bad.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the middle ground is likely, because if they have a good season on the football field.
Middle ground 8-4. 8-4.
Depending on how it looks.
9-3, sneak back into a New Year's Six bowl.
Here, I'm not,
there's no longer New Year's Six bowls. So
we're not going to judge them on wins and losses, right? That's the thing. We're not going to judge them on wins and losses. We're going to judge them on, does the program look like a program that is about, like, if you think they're going to compete for the playoff in year one, wow, you are drinking the ayahuasca.
Their goal should just be to beat NC State again.
Why are we bringing up beat Duke at a press conference? Like, no offense to Duke. I love Duke football's program. Manny Diaz done a great job. And before him, Mike Elko did a great job, and David Cutcliffe did a great job. The fact that Duke has a football program worth watching is borderline amazing.
Right, and that's because there have been so many former Carolina football coaches that got away from, all right, we need to just protect home state first before we can think outside North Carolina.
Carolina has not been significantly good outside of a one-year quasar. Larry Fedora went, 11-1 or whatever
Got
it was.
them back
right?
to the ACC
right?
championship.
They've had a couple of years.
Yeah.
The only time that North Carolina looked like they were legitimately becoming a really good football program was the end of the Butch Davis era. Because they were trending towards being, oh my gosh, they got a bunch of future NFL players. They looked the part. And then the scandal broke, and they tore it down. And since then, it has not been the same. Mac Brown was brought back to make it look better than Larry Fedora had it.
Restore high school relationships in the state.
Yeah, and there were none. And Mac has did a very good job at that. But they didn't get better. They didn't get anything out, really, of having back-to-back NFL quarterbacks. You have back-to-back NFL quarterbacks in a college program, you got to be better than they were.
Got back to the ACC championship game again, but fell a lot more worse than to Clemson.
They are perpetually 8 wins, right? And they want to be more than that. Okay, that's fine. We'll see if Bill can do it. I do think that there is no, hey, that was good. I think there is, oh, that was great, you can see the future, or B, nope, this is going to suck. That's because it is all about that program acquiring talent somehow. And I don't want to talk about Jordan Hudson, but I would like to know what Bill thinks would make a great college football program. Graham, thank you very much. I'm Adam. We'll see everybody tomorrow.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show.